We are back at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Another beautiful fall night, and tonight we crown the champions of the Ontario Sire Stakes. Ontario sired superstars out in full force this evening. It is the Super Finals. $1.8 million in prize money. Those great blankets that they're going to be competing for, trophies, and plenty of other hardware this evening as well. Here's a look at the weather conditions tonight. It's a crisp evening. Temperature at 9 degrees. It's going to drop a little bit cooler than that this evening, but it is dry and the track is fast. So pretty nice weather conditions to play on here this evening in Campbellville, Ontario. Hi, and welcome inside the paddock location here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Greg Blanchard alongside Shannon Sugar Doyle, and we are excited about tonight's show. We've got several other members of the broadcast team that are going to be joining us this evening as well. Big night, Sugar, where we honor the best in Ontario. Do you have a particular horse that you're looking forward to watching most tonight in these finals?
I've got a few of them, but I got to say, I've never seen Stockade Sealster race yet in person, so I'm looking forward to that. The fastest 2-year-old ever in Canada is here tonight.
And coming off the big win in the Metro Pace, and he's been a star, of course, in the provincial program all season long. On that note, we want you to have your say tonight, and we'd love to hear from all of our viewers. As always, here's the question we're going to pose to you. We want to know, who do you think is the greatest Ontario sire horse of all time? Who's the greatest OSS horse of all time? Have your say. And we might as well ask it to you, Sugar. Who's your favorite of all time?
Well, you know what? I've been on the Bulldog Hanover wagon all summer long. I've got his shoes hanging on my wall in the office in London, so I got to go after Bulldog Hanover here as the greatest OSS horse of all time.
You know, it's a pretty good list, right? And yes. Ontario sired performers have been showing for many years that they can compete with the very best. Horses like Some Beach Somewhere come to mind, Peaceful Way.
For sure.
Who do you think? Folks, let us know. All of those people watching in from, hopefully, all around the world this evening. Great night where we celebrate the best in the provincial program. Right now, we're going to join the other members of our broadcast team outside this evening. We've got both Jamie McDonald and Rob Reed Jr. And Jamie, it's a busy night in general, and for some trainers, it's going to be particularly busy.
It is particularly busy here in the paddock. The first race is just coming out behind us, but before we get into the racing, the paddock is buzzing. Everyone is very excited. It's an amazing, super night. But speaking of busy trainers, we have 9 trainers that have more than 3 horses in the gold finals. That is amazing. That means they've had an unbelievable summer, an amazing fall, and these horses are, doing well and put together still for the gold finals today. That list includes Rob Fellows, Nick Gallucci, Dustin Jones, Bob McIntosh, Greg McNair, Richard Moreau, Gene Tierney, Luke Blais, and Ian Moore. Of course, I think everyone knows who I'm cheering for tonight, but there is a trainer that has the most horses of everyone in the finals, and Rob's going to talk about him.
Yeah, so it's Nick Gallucci, and the thing that's interesting about it, though, he's got 5, right, overall, but 3 of them are in the same division, the 3-year-old filly pacing division, and it's a 3-headed monster in that race, no question about it for them. I think they're going to have a big night either way from Millar Farms, and just before that race, you'll see the little sister of Silver Label, Save the Last Dance. So Nick Gallucci, I think, is going to have a big night. Overall, incredible night of racing. I can't wait till the Glamour Boy division as well, because I'm a big fan of Cold Creek Queso.
Back to you guys on the other side of the paddock.
Thank you very much, guys, and we look forward to joining them. Stay warm outside. We've got a nice indoor location here tonight, and this is really the beehive of all the activity here this evening. Let's take a look at what is coming up tonight. As mentioned, it's championship night in the Ontario Sire Stakes, $1.8 million on the line, and we will feature all 8 of the championship finals, each for a purse of $225,000. And there's the order that they're going to go in this evening. So 9 races in total, because we've got a great-looking open handicap pace sandwiched right in between. So a little bit of something for everybody tonight. And, boy, it's going to be a lot of fun. We hope that you all enjoy it this evening. On the giveaway side tonight, for everybody tuning in, you'll have a chance to win as well. Last night it was a Camluck Classic jacket we gave away. Tonight,
That's right.
Set of silks signed by Dexter Dunn, not a bad prize.
Those would look great on my wall right next to the Bulldog shoes.
Absolutely, and we've got another OSS swag package to give away here this evening as well. So we've got 2 great prizes, and we're going to be drawing those, and we'll announce the winners of last night's show along with both of tonight's winners as well. And everybody that drops us a comment tonight in the chat on any of our channels, you're automatically entered to win, and we will announce those winners a little bit later. All right, we're just moments away from race number 1 this evening. We're on the trot, our first Gold Super Final of the night. Now this one for the 2-year-old filly trotters. We've got a full field of 10 and a heavy favorite on the board. Righteous Resolve for John Bax. The filly close to perfect this year, Sugar. 7 for 8 coming in.
Yeah, and the money just incredible, over $400,000 earned. It's tough to look beyond Righteous Resolve when looking for a winner here to start things up in this Ontario Sire Stakes Gold Super Final night. How do you look beyond this trotter? Paul McDonnell on board for John Bax, and nothing short of perfect in his last 6.
There's a look at the standings. Righteous Resolve leading the way, of course, 175 points in the division with Sweet Determination. Not that far behind. It's been a solid season for that one. Has been worse than second only once in 6. Mass Hysteria, the number 9 in the field. This one enjoying a solid campaign, 136,000 made, is going to have a sibling selling in the London Classic yearling sale, which starts this Tuesday. This one will be going on the Wednesday session. Hip 116, one by the name of Mascara. And certainly what this filly's done on the track this year should help the price for that one this week.
And it's right in co-owner, trainer Kyle Boston's backyard, right? We know him well around the raceway at Western Fair in London. Kyle will get a shot at some gold super final. Spoils a victory here. Really like the chances for this one picking up a big prize. Number 9, Mass Hysteria. And again, I'm sure Kyle's looking forward to the London Classic yearling sale coming up next week.
All right, we're going to bring in Rob Reed Jr. right now to talk about this first race, Rob. Heavily favored here right off the bat. So when you're thinking pick 5, is it just as simple as singling this one? You're going to try and get a price here to beef up the play right off the bat, or are you looking for the value elsewhere?
No, for me, Greg, it's going to be about increasing my bet size, singling this one, likely singling Adair Castle as well, and then maybe looking for some prices elsewhere, because I can't go against Righteous Resolve. By the way, a lot of place money in the pool on her right now, over $45,000 bet to place on Righteous Resolve right now. So, I mean, there's some people that are going to be watching this race looking for that 5% return.
Yeah, you're right. And Sugar, what do you think? I mean, the bridge jumpers, so to speak, 2-year-old filly trotters, no matter how good they look, it's risky.
It is risky. Anytime you've got the rookie trotters going for some big money, they don't put the name in the check before the race. So Righteous Resolve should be much the best, but never a sure thing in racing. I don't think you can try. I don't think you should be trying to get this horse beat to start things up.
I mean, sometimes wonky things do happen at season's end. It's been a long season, especially for rookies, the first year at the races. And I guess when you're thinking handicapping specifically, you're trying to look for, signs that the horse may be starting to get a little bit tired, a little bit of that wear and tear, and see some vulnerability in their game. I don't see it here with this filly. Do you?
You know what? If I would be looking at this one, she's been winning. If she's only winning by a half length or a diminishing neck, but it's not happening for this filly. She's winning by open length. She's gotten stronger, it appears, in recent starts. So she could be at her best going into this tonight.
We are getting set to go. It's Super Final night from Woodbine Mohawk Park. To kick things off, it's 2-year-old filly trotters here for $225,000. And there is a look at Righteous Resolve, the queen of the division. Will try and add a Super Final crown to her resume this season. Ken Middleton with the call of the opener next.
Some would say pick 5, others would say, you know what, this is a pick 4. Thanks to Righteous Resolve's presence in the opening leg of this early wager. 1-9 on that Daughter of Resolve, going out for John Bax and driver Paul McDonnell. Just that one blemish on her record, if you can call it that. She was defeated just once from 8 tries so far this year. A brilliant rookie campaign, and it's far from done. Here they come. And they're off. Gapped off was 2, the dealer's ace. Off stride the 4, Margarita Morning, and earlier the 5, Pretty Special, rolled into a break. Quick start outside is 0 and gets airborne with Cardio Muscle. Cardio Muscle striding right to the top. Drop to the pocket is It's Your Choice. Off the speed in 3rd is Mass Hysteria. McDonnell out of trouble early with the big favorite Righteous Resolve as she landed 4th inside. Tracking along 5th towards the rail is Sweet Determination. 6th inside now, Shiny New Penny. A gap of 3 back to Winooski, followed by the dealer's ace. Quarter time, big panel, 27-2. Cardio Muscle under attack as she is about to find out what Righteous Resolve is all about. Righteous Resolve, the 1-9 favorite, takes charge as McDonnell pushed the button and she responded with a quick second quarter acceleration to the front. So on the lead, it's Righteous Resolve. Cardio Muscle is 2nd. It's Your Choice continues 3rd. Mass Hysteria 4th. 5th inside, past a half of 56-3. Sweet Determination. On that one's back, waiting for her to move, Shiny New Penny. Further back we go to Winooski, off stride again with the dealer's ace in the backfield. They're on their way to 3 quarters, and it's Righteous Resolve with 3/8 of a mile to go. 2nd at the inside is Cardio Muscle. 3rd, tipping out here, it appears, is It's Your Choice. She goes right back down to the rail, though, leaving a first overdrive for Mass Hysteria to work with now. She's 3rd outside, up and on the move. Shiny New Penny latches on to cover. 3/4 of 126. Turning home, the one to catch, Righteous Resolve. Easier said than done, as she's got 3 on Mass Hysteria, who's up into 2nd. Shiny New Penny is 3rd, dropped inside It's Your Choice. Late speed outside from Sweet Determination. Coming into the final 1/8 of the mile, McDonnell sneaks a peek in the rearview mirror, and it's all Righteous Resolve. Righteous Resolve in a cakewalk in the first of the super finals tonight. She won it by 2.5 lengths. Second best was Mass Hysteria. It's Your Choice 3rd, Shiny New Penny 4th. Righteous Resolve right on the money in 154-4.
Great look there at Team Bax. Yet another win in what has been a dream season. John and son Matt. And boy, that's got to be rewarding to win races together, and especially races like this with a filly like this. How impressive was she again?
Well, we talked about it before the race, you know, would or could they get close? She finished up her last 2 before this one by open lengths, and she was just simply perfect in there this evening, winning again by open lengths. Very nice filly by Resolve, and she's pretty much perfect all season long. Can't take anything away from her.
Looks like an O'Brien Award winner already. I'm gonna call it, I think, at this point. Bumps her record to 8 for 9 on the season. And with the lion's share of the victory tonight, well over the $500,000 mark in earnings for the Daughter of Resolve. Paul McDonnell for John Bax for the BetMax Stables, Casco Benetani Incorporated. Congratulations to the connections. We will take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll meet the winner of tonight's first Super Final from Woodbine Mohawk Park.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine recently introduced its exciting new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To create your account or learn more, visit www.preferredequine.com or call 914-773-7777.
And there is a look at the winner and the large winner circle entourage to greet Righteous Resolve and Paul McDonnell. 1-9 on the board, certainly 1-9 the best, and it is a championship season that just continues to get better and better for this filly. And Team Backs, what a year for them, right? And what luck they've had with sons and daughters of Resolve in recent years.
They've done great, and you know what? A busy family this evening at the races, and we could see more of the Backs family in the winner's circle here tonight.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to see that happen. And John Backs, I think at this point in time, or the combination of John and Matt, what a job they've done. And you've got to give, I think, some O'Brien Award consideration there, potentially, when you talk Trainer of the Year. And John's a guy that's been in that conversation many times over the course of his career. Big win for driver Paul McDonnell as well. And, great guy, especially at this point in his career with young trotters.
He looks great on trotter. I mean, this little filly, she was just floating through the stretch on the slow-mo. A wonderful shot of her going underneath the line all by herself. I love Paul McDonnell on board a trotter. He's so chilly.
$2.20 is the win ticket return on Righteous Resolve. Mass Hysteria, nice result, picks up the deuce. There was no show wagering there in race number 1. Exacta, even with a long shot finishing second, just $10.80, and the superfecta worth $107.30. Let's talk about the runner-up, Mass Hysteria. Nice result for that one at long odds from a tough post.
Well, we mentioned before the race, Kyle Boston certainly knows his way to the winner's circle in London. And you know what? Co-owner, trainer of this one, for sure, one of his largest paydays at the races, adds to a nice total going in of $136,000 earned this season. And as you mentioned, there is a sibling that Kyle will likely take a very close look at in London come Wednesday.
Absolutely, and if you're Dean and Ashley Wilson, you're all smiles right now. It's going to be a nice update for that one. Hip number 116 goes by the name of Mascara, and we'll certainly, I'm sure, get a nice little boost after this good second place effort tonight.
I'm sure there'll be many boosts around. Well, when it's all said and done after this evening, the updates are just going to be enormous, I'm thinking.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Well, we have a quick moment. We're going to get to some Winter Circle reaction in a moment. Let's say hi to some of our viewers watching tonight on our YouTube feed. Jay Abbott, and he chimed in on the Have Your Say segment with Odie's Fame. There's a good one.
Wow,
Odie's
that's
Fame,
going
yeah,
back,
she was a great OSS competitor as well. John Hall, Steve Finland, Cass Morrissey, and Bird. Not sure who Bird is, but Bird's watching tonight.
Happy
Looking forward to the action.
Yeah.
And the stars are out, and already Righteous Resolve living up to her billing in a big, big way. Special filly. Sky looks like the limit for her next year as a 3-year-old.
Just puts a cherry on top of her season, right? It's awesome. Awesome to see.
Okay. 220 again. A popular winner here in race number 1. And we'll get to those Winter Circle connections, as mentioned, here in a moment. Nights like tonight are the nights that we celebrate the provincial breeding program. Let's talk about some of the impact stallions here. Muscle Mass with the runner-up here. He's been the kingpin on the trotting side, but Resolve's one that's, as each passing year goes by, is making more and more of a name for himself.
Just gaining ground on other leading sires we've had in Ontario, and you know what? The name Resolve, when you see it in the program for these young horses involved in stakes action, you can count on them being in the mix throughout, and it's great to see a Resolve kick things off here in race 1 this evening.
Race number 1 is in the books, and we've got 7 more championship finals tonight, plus that open pace. a little bit later as well. It's going to come right in the middle of the program this evening. Just give you a bit of a heads up on that a little bit later on. Got a full field of 10, and with that you get the increased purse tonight based on number of starters, and that bumps up the total purse, $5,000 per starter, I believe. So right now we are getting ready to head over and catch up with the winners of tonight's first super final of the night.
All right, I'm here in the winner's circle, a very happy winner's circle. The connections of Righteous Resolve, a very popular winner tonight and dominant winner. First of all, Paul McDonnell, you've sat behind so many great horses in your career. I got to ask you, I know she's only 2. Where does she rank?
She's right up there. I mean, she's so professional in everything she does, and she makes my job real easy. She's way up there at the top echelon of trotting fillies for sure.
And it seems like she's wise beyond her years out there, and it seems to get easier and easier for her. I mean, what's your approach coming into these races now? Obviously, you're a heavy favorite on the board. Is it seem automatic, or is it still a horse race in your opinion?
Well, I mean, my job is just to keep her out of trouble and make sure we have a clear path and no nonsense. So that's what I try to do. Try to keep her quiet and just let her do the rest, and she does it.
Right. Thank you very much, sir. Congrats, Paul. Bring in John Bax. John Bax, no stranger to success this year, really having an incredible season in the OSS this year for your barn, and this horse obviously the top of it.
Yeah, we're real proud of the year we got. It's a lot of horses have made good money, and it's hard to do. I mean, a lot of years you're lucky to get one. So we're pretty blessed this year.
I got to ask you about the management of a racehorse and how important it is at this age. Opted to not vie for the Mohawk Million. I'm sure there was offers for her to race there. Skipping it is in the interest of maybe what her future holds this season and next.
Well, I think it's a testament to the owners like Roy, who they're looking after what's best for the horse. They're not worried about the money as much as they are the health of the horse, and hopefully for their sake and our sake, it pays out in the long run.
And you've got a busy night ahead, so I'll let you go. Many more in tonight. John Bax, congrats. Let's bring in Roy Maxwell, part of Bet Max stable. And the big thing, obviously Righteous Resolve, dominant winner again tonight. I got to ask you, everyone says the best thing in the world is to win a horse race. What's it like to experience the season you've had with her?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, you don't expect something like this, but when it comes along, you sure enjoy it.
And a lot of smiling faces in the winner's circle tonight. I expect to see them all back here 2 weeks from this evening in the Breeders' Crown?
Oh, absolutely. We'll be there.
All right. Well, Ontario and all of Canada will be cheering for you. Congratulations again. Righteous Resolve, winner of the OSS Super Final.
Let me just say one thing. What a lady, what a night. Yes!
Oh, wild finish.
It's a Breeders' Crown showdown at Woodbine Mohawk Park. 2 nights of incredible racing. 12 divisional championships. Over $6.5 million in prize money. Join us on October 28th and 29th for harness racing's richest, most prestigious year-end fight to the finish. From the long shots to the sure shots, it all comes down to the Breeders' Crown.
By now, you know the name COSA-TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.
Enjoy the thrill of the race anywhere, anytime with hpibet.com. Join for free and use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch and wager when you can't be at the track. Stream live racing from over 450 tracks. Bet with ease from anywhere. It's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming and your first bet is on us. Go to hpibet.com to join for free today.
Good reports on the show last night?
Welcome back. Race number 2 is where we go next as we continue on Super Final Night from Woodbine Mohawk Park. The 2-year-old male trotters going to the post this time around. And divisional leader Osceola, who was a winner in the last gold event on October 3rd, he'll be sent out by Team McNair. He's been the leader in the division all season long. Dewey Dealin and Y will be in the field, as well as Snowpiercer. So all the big guns are here for the big showdown.
The big guns are. I mean, you've got the 3 top point leaders, but for me, one that's kind of jumping off the page here, only sitting 5th in points, but the highest earner coming in is actually a maiden, and that's the one, Ghostly Casper. Interesting coming in. To see that in a race like this, it'd just be amazing to see a Resolve daily double and this one horse break its maiden to take a super final.
Yeah, a great storyline, and often that's what we see on Super Final Night. These intriguing storylines play out, and it's going to be fun to watch how things play out for some of these OSS performers in the Breeders' Crown. We heard from John Bax moments ago, and the ownership group talking about looking ahead of the Breeders' Crown, so it's going to be fun to watch that filly and how she stacks up against the best. That was the theme of our question tonight, wanting to know, who was your favorite Ontario sired horse of all time. We've had some great contributions here from those tuning in here this evening. Some of the names thrown out there, some beach somewhere, not surprising.
Of course.
He made the top spot for many people. Mark Border says Adair Castle, another great one. A little more recent, Don Johnson, of course, Bulldog Hanover, joining Sugar in that camp. Terry Mullen with L.A. Delight, another good one. L.A. Delight, and that's the thing when you start to think about it. There's been so many over the years, right? The provincial program, long regarded as one of the very best in the world, and we've seen nothing in recent years to suggest that's changing.
No, not at all. I mean, it's great to reminisce about what's been there before, but the most recent years, there's been lots of top horses show up here from Ontario and gone on to do some great things, even south of the border, right? The Bulldog, everywhere he's going now, he's filling the grandstands and the tarmacs.
There we had a look at Ghostly Casper. Ofer coming in this season, but such an impressive resume all year long. Perhaps we'll bring in Rob Reed Jr. now for his thoughts on this field. A little bit different betting board than we saw in the first, Rob, where we had the heavy favorite. Looks like he could go in a few different directions here. What would your take be on Ghostly Casper? The fact that he hasn't won this year, is that the thing we should look at most, or should we look at the on the board record and the money made?
Well, I mean, Ghostly Casper is a horse with knocking at the door, right? So one that I certainly gave respect to in the Horse Players Journal because, we saw it in the grassroots finals. We saw a maiden step up and in her 5th start of her career, take down a championship there. And this is a horse that I think might be able to do that here tonight. Ghostly Casper has been one that's been very close all season. I did go with the 2 Tuscan Prince right now, taking all that support on the board, 9-5. Just love the way this horse has progressed from the grassroots to the golds, and one that I think has all kinds of ability. And 9-5, though, probably a bit short on the board.
I would concur with that. What do you think, Sugar? Tuscan Prince, the results have been kind of up and down in recent starts, but boy, when this horse brings his best, like we saw last time, incredibly talented performer.
Right. He made the uncharacteristic break 2 back, but when you look through the program and those final quarters, he does have the best late kick. He's got 27 flat back in late August, and then even his most recent start where he won 27-3 on the end. You can go through the whole page. You're not going to see those kind of quarters on a regular basis. So Tuscan Prince, definitely, if he can mind his manners tonight, he's likely the one to beat. But you know what? There's many in here that can win with the right kind of trip.
Maybe we'll throw it back to Rob here for another thought on 7 Osceola. I don't know about you, Rob, but I am literally shocked to see 6-1 on a horse that leads in the standings this year and was a winner in the last gold event here on October 3rd.
Yeah, the thing about Osceola is that if he minds his manners, I think he's going to be really tough to beat in here, right? And we see that money starting to come for him now. He was 6-1, 9-2, now down to 4-1. I thought he deserved to be bet down to somewhere near favoritism in here because, again, if he stays on his game tonight, I think he's likely the one to beat. So I thought maybe he'd be the one taking the support, and Tuscan Prince might add the value. That's why I went in that direction on the Horse Players Journal. But sometimes we can't predict the way the betting's going to go here at Mohawk Park.
And Sugar, John Bax getting it done in the opener as we expected. He was first and third. He's got not one, not two, but three trotters in this field, including some good ones like Snowpiercer and Oh Look Magic, who both have banked well over 100K this year.
That's right. I don't mind them in here at all. In fact, I did get a Pick 5 ticket earlier on in my HPI bet account. I did key the 3 Righteous Resolve in the opening leg of the Pick 5. In here, I had to settle on the all button. That's the way I see it. It's potential for upset in this second race.
I think if you're going to get that upset, this has the complexion of a race where it could happen because you've got horses like Tuscan Prince where they're very talented. If they mind their manners, he's got a good post. Should be very tough, but sometimes beats himself. Osceola, same thing. There are a number of breaks on the card, but the good thing is they were all earlier in the season. The recent form spree has been very impressive.
I'm looking at 2, Tuscan Prince, his body language, very strong-looking colt, and looking to be very calm and cool going in behind the gate, so that's likely a great sign.
There's a look at number 8, Snowpiercer, for Team Backs. Paul McDonnell looking to double up early on Super Final night. Yeah. Flashy-looking individual. And we'll see if those looks translate to a Super Final championship here. Starting gate rolling. Rookie, Colt, and Gelding Trotters next here for race number 2.
Lots of other good price options out there if you like others in the field. The gate swings off the turn into the stretch. It's the OSS Super Final 2-year-old Colt and Gelding Trot next. On a break, the 1, Ghostly Casper. They're off and trotting. Good beginning inside. DW's point man showing hustle getting away. Henry just lost Mass Market, who made a break on him getting away from the starting gate. Off stride at the inside. Tuscan Prince blew up. Tuscan Prince is off stride. Even money favorite goes down the drain early, though he's right with the pack going into the turn. Snowpiercer and McDonnell shot to the front. Zeron just lost a 3-hole city. Dewey, Dealin, and Y, who's miscued. He's up in the center of the racetrack trying to get his act together. The opening quarter is 27-4. In Breakapalooza, it's Snowpiercer leading the way. DW's point man, his pocket shadow. Osceola continuing third. Deadline Hall fourth. Fifth inside to Passerino. The 6th one is Oh Look Magic. Then Tuscan Prince. A bigger gap back to Ghostly Casper, followed by Dewey, Dealin, and Y. And there goes Osceola. Called on by McNair to sprint up and take command. Osceola finds the lead, coming to the half. They're there in 57-1. Osceola, the new leader. Snowpiercer back to second. DW's point man Passerino. First over outside Oh Look Magic, grabbing cover Tuscan Prince. Then a chase along Deadline Hall as the field sweeps into the final 3/8 of the mile. Big tactical advantage here for Osceola. He's the king of this castle. Snowpiercer rides pocket. First up third is Oh Look Magic, towing Tuscan Prince, who broke earlier. Right back in it he is, tracking cover from in fourth. 3/4 in 125-3, and the leader made a break. Osceola, this has been a wild super final, and Snowpiercer is on the lead, trying to shock us all at 32-1. McDonnell calls on him for some deep stretch toughness. Here comes DW's point man off the ground, saving trip. Off stride again, Tuscan Prince. Snowpiercer. McDonnell calling on him for another 16th of toughness here. It's still Snowpiercer. DW's point man is inching in. Snowpiercer's almost there. Snowpiercer on the inside holds on for a super final shocker in 155-1.
I don't know. What do you think? That's close.
Looks like it is the dream start to the night for trainer John Bax and driver Paul McDonnell. Snowpiercer at long odds. Let go at 32-1. McDonnell put him into play early, while others were making breaks at critical times. This one works out a perfect trip. The seas part in the home stretch, and Snowpiercer appeared to hold off a dead game DW's point man. It is very close, Sugar, but we think Snowpiercer held on, and it looks like a sweep of the early super final double for Bax and McDonnell.
Wouldn't that be something? It is close, and a lot of things happened for this horse. If he is the winner, and a lot of things had to happen for him to upset like this, but you know what? Great job by McDonnell for keeping this young trotter rid of trouble.
Here's another look at the final stages.
Oh.
Ooh, that is close, but it does, to me, look like Snowpiercer. I haven't seen an angle yet that's changed my mind on this guy.
I'm with you.
And he needed the wire to come up right when it did. This could be the best look at it right here on the slow-mo. And whoa, boy, that's close. Now
close. Let's
that's
go back
the first angle.
Yeah, let's go back and maybe think about
a bit on this call.
a dead heat possibly. That is too close to call.
Yeah. And wow, there you go. Every angle except the last one. I thought 8. I thought 8 in real time, and I thought 8 on the slow-mos. And then, that last angle was a different story. So, but you know what? Still a great start to the night for Bax McDonnell, but picked off here by DW's point man and Louis-Philippe Roy getting it done here. Another one, though, that, put the horse into play, just followed along, let others sort of self-implode, picks up the pieces.
Managed to stay out of trouble. This horse normally on the lead in quite a few of his races, but from well off the pace to win here tonight.
And what a difference a race makes. Race number 1, chalk fest, low prices. Going to be a very different story here, especially with a 99-1 shot finishing third. So, the Bax brigade here tonight with a second and third place finish here, first and third in the opener. So some major money going their way here this evening in Passerino for Ted McDonnell and James McDonald. Round out the top 4. Louis-Philippe Roy teaming up here with trainer Richard Moreau and Quebec ownership connections. Congratulations. And there's one that's quietly had a great season too, right?
Yes.
Now 5 for 10. That puts him well over $200K in earnings.
Right on. He was a starter in the Mohawk Million. Things didn't work for him in there. He come back last time out and looked like he get used pretty good through the middle half. But again, from off the pace tonight, DW's point man, Louis-Philippe Roy for Richard Morrow. Strong combination here at Woodbine Mohawk Park, and they're taking home the spoils of victory.
A dramatic photo finish in race number 2. It goes to number 4, DW's point man. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we will hear from the winning connections next.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU covers the sport from all angles with news, features, photography, opinion, and analysis of racing. Also, HRU covers breeding and sales, as well as industry stories you need to know. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. And the best news is that it's free to subscribe. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com and see what everyone is talking about.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Mr. Levesque, Mach 3, Cadabra, Muscle Mass, and Precious Bunny, to name a few. Our stallions' progeny have won major events, including the Hambletonian. Tara Hill Stud are currently standing 9 of the industry's top stallions. Alarm Detector, Control the Moment, Danson Lou, Flanagan Memory, Green Manalishi, He's Watching, Muscle Mass, Resolve, and Sports Writer. Our facility is modern, our staff knowledgeable. Consider Tara Hill Stud when choosing a home for your stallion. Tara Hill Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to terrahills.com.
Welcome back to COSA-TV, live coverage of the Ontario Sire Stakes Super Finals. $1.8 million on the line here tonight. 8 $225,000 championship finals. Heavy favorite in the first, a 9-1 long shot winner here in race 2, DW's Point Man. They did have the inquiry sign posted, assuming that they were looking at probably the different incidents of breakers in the field there. I don't think there's anything that they're looking at in terms of the first couple of finishers in this spot, but 55-1, that's a pretty good mile tonight too. It's a cool evening here for the son of my MVP. And again, this is one that, you know, comes in a little bit unheralded, 9-1,
Right.
but has quietly made 200,000, and we see a ton of those on the program tonight. And again, a testament to the quality of the provincial program.
You bet. This horse belonged in there. I mean, over $100,000 earned coming in. Got to the winner's circle quite a few times this summer, and this would be the largest victory, of course, on the season. A great way to cap off a rookie season for DW's Point Man in upset fashion.
Yeah, very close photo. We got fooled on it in real time.
Yeah. But there were so many angles.
Yeah.
I mentioned
from an announcer's point of view.
Yeah. I mean, the race itself, I thought he got picked off late, but then we saw the slow-mos, and every slow-mo pointed to him, the 8-horse holding on, until we saw that final one, and we said, yeah, that was it.
All right. Well, we've got, I think, a taped version of the... we're going live to the winner's circle now. Let's hear from the winning connections of race number 2, that 2-year-old colt trot.
Robert Reed Jr. here in the winner's circle with Louis-Philippe Roy, winning driver aboard DW's Point Man. First of all, Louis, that was as tight as it gets at the wire there. I'll be honest, I didn't think you got there. What did you think?
Me neither. Like I would say 10 feet before the wire, I was pretty sure I wouldn't get there. And I feel like Snowpiercer just gave up very, very late there. And mine just kept trotting. He never really gave up. And I don't know, at the end of the day, at the end of the race, I would have probably take a flip, like take a half and half of the lead. I didn't know, like you said, if I got there in time or not.
And, going into a race like that, it looked like one of the more wide open races on the card tonight. What's your approach and strategy going in?
Well, if you have too much in mind, I feel like that's when you make mistake. You go in there, you know every horses. You've been racing against them. For example, that Snowpiercer, I was following him last gold. I was in the 3-0 and he was in the front and he looked a little lost, almost pulled up, and I removed mine there thinking that I had to kind of. So following him today, I knew that he might do that getting out of the first turn, and I wasn't going to panic even. I just wanted a good trip from my horse tonight. And it worked out good. You need luck. You need to be prepared and need luck, a good horse and good team.
And last question, a lot of chaos in that race tonight. You might expect that with 2-year-old trotters, but what do you do when all that's happening around you?
Well, same thing with the 2-year-old trotting filly before. You just don't want to panic. Just listen to your horse. I feel like you don't want to be the one caught doing a mistake, putting your horse on the run. I know there's some horses that whatever you do, they might run. It's not your fault, but you don't want it to be your fault. So you just stay focused the whole race. And like my trotter actually in that race, he's pretty honest, because in the last turn he put some step because he was touching himself a little bit. He was all doubled up. But you just want to trot. I feel like those my MVP have been driving this year. That's how they do. They want to trot. Even if they interfere a little bit, they touch themselves. They're pretty honest. So I just can thank the horse himself. He did the job for me.
All right, congrats again, Louis. Good luck the rest of the way tonight. DW's Point Man, now an OSS Super Final champion.
A few more of those beautiful OSS blankets to present tonight, and a lot more in prize money as well. Still awaiting the prices. We can tell you they did refund both the 1 and the 2. So major refund action in race number 2. There's a look at the pari-mutuel details. DW's Point Man, boy, did that ever affect the win return. $11.50. Still some nice returns, though, in the exotics. The dollar try, $2,100 and change. The 20-cent superfecta, just a little bit shy of $2,000. So it's a 4, 8, 3, and 6 top 4 finish there. in race number 2. What does race number 3 have in store for us? This is the 3-year-old filly trotters, getting a look at some of them going through their final preparations. There's Ashley McDonald. She was co-hosting with us last night, and tonight they've pressed her into action, caretaking as part of Super Final Night.
She can do it all.
Giving a little bit of love to her equine athlete as well.
Right on.
That's another theme tonight, right? The caretakers that look after these horses day in and day out, and it really is a love affair, and it's a big part of why these horses are able to perform at the level they do all season long.
You know what, the caretakers, they spend a lot of time with these horses. They always say, what's the horse like coming into tonight? Well, some trainers will actually say, ask the caretaker, right? So they put in a lot of time and a lot of love with these horses. So a big night, when you say big night for the connections, you have to include the caretakers.
Earlier tonight, we posed the question to our guests, wanting to know who you think is the greatest OSS horse of all time. And we've had a variety of great answers. Another good one here from Sean Hunt, Be a Magician. One of the, royal filly trotters in the history of the Sire Stakes program. One of the richest, certainly, as well, of all time. And a great little segue to the 3-year-old filly trotters, which are coming up next year in race number 3. And, there's a couple that are following in those footsteps. Adair Castle is a millionaire already. 3-year-old trotting filly, races primarily in the Ontario Sire Stakes program. She's a millionairess and counting. And I believe we're going to head over now to Jamie McDonald, who has a special guest. Jamie.
Hi, Tyler. I'm here with driver of the 6 here in the 3rd race coming up. For your 3-year-old trotter, how has she been doing? Pencils down. Tell us about the season with her.
She's a pretty consistent horse. We love her, you know what I mean? She's a perfect filly. She doesn't do anything wrong. She closes late, so this is the type of race that, for her, hopefully she can close late and pick up some pieces late and see what happens.
Now, with only 6 in the field, does that make a difference on how drivers come in with their tactics and what they're going to do?
I think the biggest thing is Adair Castle being probably 1 to 9. That's everybody's going to be chasing her. And unfortunately, we got the 6 hole, so we're going to be the last one out chasing her. But hopefully we can chase down a couple other ones and pick up the pieces.
And moving on to just you now, how has your career taken off so far at Woodbine Mohawk Park this summer?
This summer's been great. Can't complain. Unfortunately, the first race didn't go so well in my favor, but things happen. We got to reset, and just happy to be here. Happy to compete on a night like this. That's it. That's all.
And to be here and competing, against the top drivers, the top horses, are there any nerves? Do you feel like you're still trying to earn a spot out on the racetrack, or do you feel comfortable with who you've got?
I think everybody wants to compete. There's always like that little piece of you that thinks you're not good enough. So there's that chip on your shoulder. You got to go. Like people like Scott Zeron come in tonight, and big drivers like James and Doug are all here, Trevor, and I'm in the pack. So maybe I don't have my spot, maybe I do, I don't know, but I got that chip on my shoulder and I'm ready.
Well, good luck tonight, and we hope to see you here night after night at Woodbine Mohawk Park.
Yeah, thank you very much.
A number of father-son combinations competing here tonight on the program. We'll see a couple here, Greg McNair and Doug McNair with 3 baby long stocky, and we heard there from Tyler Jones. Father Dustin co-owns and trains Pencils Down. And just a thought on Tyler, one of those young drivers just trying to make his mark.
For sure.
I like what I've seen from him. Kind of nice, calm, composed demeanor in the race bike, and doesn't seem to overdrive his horses.
Same here. I'm a fan. Tyler Jones, I got to look at him quite a bit down around Pompano Park, driving there. You know what? I worked the simulcast floor in London, and he's become a fan favorite from our simulcast players. Anytime Tyler gets in play there, coming down the stretch at Woodbine Mohawk Park, our simulcast players, they're making lots of noise for Tyler because it's normally at a nice price.
Yeah, that is for sure. I'm a big fan, too, of Adair Castle, and I think a lot of people are Hard not to be. Great connections here. Mark Etzel co-owns this one with Robert Newton and Graham Hopkins and Peter Porter, all of Ontario, and Mark trains. Mark, well-liked, very highly respected trainer, and this filly's just been so consistent. It's so talented, obviously, and just kind of has that flair to her, has that big league flair that makes her something extra special. And she's got $1 million on her card now, so joins the illustrious group of great fillies that have come through the Ontario Sire Stakes. And boy, they'd love to add just another super final title to her resume tonight.
She appears to be standing out here in the program. She's a 14-time career winner, and when you add up the victories on the remainder of the field, that total comes to 13. So definitely standing out here. Adair Castle for trainer Mark Etzel with James MacDonald on board.
Two more names that have been tossed out on our feed tonight. Cassandra Morrissey says Majestic Sun. Another one.
Yeah.
You kind of forget about them, but you haven't thought about them in a while, and someone brings up the names, and Majestic Sun, certainly another great Canadian champion.
Indeed.
Classic Wish, thanks to Arlene McIntyre, and we know what that one has gone on to do as a broodmare as well. Let's talk broodmare value. We talk a lot about the stallions in the program. When you get a top filly like we have here, the connections can't help but be thinking down the road to watching offspring of these trotting lasses hit the racetrack.
For sure. When you look at these young trotters in race number 3, some of the moms have done some pretty wonderful things on the racetrack, and they're just going to keep on producing great Ontario sired horses here going forward, both on the trot and pace.
And will that next superstar emerge perhaps next week? We're excited to be operating the London Classic Yearling Sale. First time that we'll be operating that under the Western Fair Association banner. We're getting the finishing touches put on the facility. In fact, some of the yearlings landed today. They look great. They'll be arriving in full force tomorrow and getting settled in. The viewing day for that is Monday, and then the sale is a 2-day event, Tuesday and Wednesday, both starting at 12 noon. So we hope everybody can make it out, but we will have the live stream for those who can't, available on the londonclassic.ca website. The opportunity to bid online as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Do you have one picked out there, Sugar? Is there one that you've been looking at? I know you've been following the filly sister to Stockade Sealster.
That's right.
One that you think will bring in a big price.
That number 58 has been on my radar for a long time now, and I'm sure she's been on the radar for many. Hit 58, of course, Sorcha Sealster, the all bets off sister to Stockade Sealster, sure to attract attention come this week at the London Classic Yearling Sale. There's some great content, right? Just shy of 200 yearlings will go through the ring, and nice to be in person again, right? We've been doing the virtual thing, but it's time to come back to in-person things, and this is just great for the City of London, great for Western Fair District.
A lot of excitement, and I can see the consigners. They're all business. They're all arriving and getting set up. I'll tell you what I was really impressed with today is watching the setups that they're coming in with. They're setting up these intricate viewing lounges, and they're branding their consignments, and it's spectacular to watch.
You know what? It's been a while since I purchased a yearling, years in fact, but they make it so inviting for people that are touring the barn area, the stalls where these yearlings are being housed before they go to the ring. That's one of the great things that our consigners set up are those, like you say, pretty much lounges for people to stop in, ask questions, have a snack, and it's just very welcoming. Like you will not feel out of place if you're touring the Agriplex at Western Fair District.
So, yes, indeed, folks, that's coming up next week, and we're excited about that. But we've got to turn our focus back to the current stars on the racetrack as the filly trotters make their way out for our next event. It's the Gold Super Final for 3-year-old filly trotters. The queen of the division, Adair Castle, looking to put another jewel in her crown here tonight. Post 2 and heavily favored on the board as we get set to meet the field. Number 1, Mischievous Rose, a filly that has been light in the win column, just 1 win in 13, but 10 top 3 finishes, $166,000 earned. This one owned by Determination Luke Blade Training. Louis Philippois, good opportunity to come right back.
She is 10 for 13, top 3 this season. She's 5 for 8 last season. This filly, always in the hunt, and no real blemishes on her card either. She looks to behave herself quite well. Mischievous Rose, a daughter here of Muscle Mass, and we do know he's put some very nice horses on the track over the years here in Ontario.
The Willow Oak Ranch of Rogersville, Tennessee, the owners of number 3, Baby Lawn Stalking. Greg McNair Training and son Doug will drive this 3-time winner of $178,000 plus this year.
That's a nice earnings for this season, just shy of $200,000. 8 for 13, Greg McNair condition. Here's another one that seems to mind the manners. There's no blemishes throughout her card. Another daughter of Muscle Mass.
That seems to be a familiar refrain here in Ontario. And, you know, we've had great stallions over the years, great trotting stallions that have dominated the provincial program. You think back to Balanced Image, then Cadabra took over the crown for a number of years. And you know, his legacy lives on. And then in recent times, it has been Muscle Mass. But again, some emerging trotting stallions that are, you know, eventually going to probably challenge for his supremacy, which always makes it interesting. No question about that. Thanks again to all of our viewers watching in tonight. It's always fun to hear from everybody tuning in. We posed our question earlier tonight. Who's the greatest Ontario Sire Stakes horse of all time? Got a text from a good friend of ours, Curly Dustin.
Yeah.
And he threw out a couple here, a couple of throwbacks and great champions in their own right. A Worthy Lad and Ivan.
Yeah, that's
and A Worthy Lad, I think he was the horse that had the 30, I think he had a 30 race win streak or something like that.
That's right.
Back in the day. We would have been back in Prince Edward Island at that time, but remember watching there was a national TV show that covered racing, and I think it was called Win Play Show.
Could have been.
I think it covered the Ontario Sire Stakes.
Could have been.
And it was on, I believe, maybe TSN, and we could follow him. And Ivan, that's a name we remember. Dave Erickson says basically anything Dave Wall drove.
Saw that.
Yeah, the king of the OSS for a number of years.
Yeah, of course. Dave Wall, Hall of Famer. We know him well up around the raceway at Western Fair. He did some great things all over. And like I said, Ontario Sire, Mr. Ontario Sire Stakes, Dave Wall, for sure.
Our good friend J.D. Varnell says Apache's Fame.
Ooh.
Who could forget Apache's Fame? He won the North America Cup as well. And Silver Rain. Wow. Yeah, the great names here. Kinway Heather. Good stuff. John Webb, thank you for that. And, yeah, everybody that comments tonight, if you drop us a comment in the chat, don't forget, you are automatically entered for the chance to win the Dexter Dunn signed silks and the OSS prize package.
That's a sweet prize package, you know. Just the silks
We're
alone.
stepping up our swag
Just
game
the silks alone, and then you're going to toss in the OSS gear as well. That's awesome.
Absolutely. All right. Maybe we'll throw it over to Rob Reed Jr. standing outside. He's got a good vantage point. Have you noticed anything on track? Anything we should be keeping an eye on for here as these 3-year-old fillies are just moments away?
Well, not like the last race, Craig, where we saw chaos. I think we're going to see these ones behave themselves here, right? We got a six-pack, more experienced trotting fillies and horses that certainly know each other well, right? They've mostly been facing off against each other all season. Sandra, the only one of the group to get the better of Adair Castle. I don't think they beat her tonight, and she's 2-5 right now. I'm actually surprised she's not 1-9. We'll probably see that come post time, but for me, she's just been so dominant, and I think she goes out there and finishes off and doubles up, right? Champion, super final champion at 2. I think she does it again right here tonight at 3.
And the sign of a great champion, Sugar, isn't just seeing those flashy times.
Mm-hmm.
It's more the fact that they've got that durability that other horses don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Other horses maybe get hot for a while, but horses like Adair Castle, they just show up week in and week out. And if you're going to beat them, you better bring your A game.
Right on. When those kind of horses bring that level of professionalism on the track and do it at this high level, Adair Castle taking on the best of what Ontario has to offer for 3-year-old trotting fillies, and 7 times to the winner's circle this season, and 3 runner-up finishes, and only off the top 3 once, but most recently a millionaire, and that says a lot for this filly. She's just a spectacular princess right now coming into this.
And what's amazing is you look at the consistent times for a 3-year-old trotting filly nowadays, a filly of her caliber. A 52 and change, 53 mile is basically commonplace. Maybe aging ourselves a little bit. We remember the day when, a good 3-year-old trotter in Atlantic Canada, if you could trot in 205, you had a good one. I
was just going to say 2.6 would find yourself a nice 3-year-old trotting filly. There was some late action coming in on the 1. Mischievous Rose was down to 3-1. She's now drifting up slightly, though, but she's another one in there that does show that 52 and 53 speed.
She looks like one of the horses that could challenge Adair Castle. Yeah. Baby Longstocking as well. Maybe a final thought here. When it's a short field like this, it's late in the year. Adair Castle, she's had to dance all the big dances all season long. These other fillies, they're not that far off, certainly in talent. Does a short field like this kind of level the playing field in your mind?
It could, but you know what? I think being the spectacular princess she is, she's going to get plenty of respect in here. I think she makes front without a tussle. I think she finds a nice breather along the way, and they'll have to catch her.
Can Adair Castle add another Gold Super Final title to her resume? We'll find out in just a little under 2 minutes from now. Starting gate rolling for race number 3, our 3rd Super Final event of the night.
I'm at Mohawk Park. The gate swings into the stretch. 3rd race field picks up speed. Here they come. And they're off, and a good clean start for the 6 of them. A good beginning in the center. Baby Longstocking rockets out, takes advantage of her early get up and go, and takes command early from McNair. Though it'll be a short-lived lead, it appears. Adair Castle not going to take any chances. McDonald sends her right to the top. So the compact field will be led by heavily favored Adair Castle, as she's on top a length and a half going into that first turn. It's Baby Longstocking who works out the pocket trip. Mischievous Rose is up close 3rd. Sandra 4th, 5th inside to Portofino. Gapping early by 3 is Pencils Down in 6th. The opening quarter, pretty sensible, 28 and 3. To the backstretch they go, and Adair Castle is leading the field up to 3/8. Baby Longstocking rides in the pocket spot, 2 lengths to Mischievous Rose, that same gap to Sandra, then Portofino, and the trailer remains Pencils Down. 6-pack in single file fashion, nearing the midway point, and McDonald's got them all in the palm of his hand here. Adair Castle getting away with easy speed thus far. She's down to the half in 58-1. She'll lead them into the far turn with a 29-3 second quarter to work with. A 2-length lead for Adair Castle as McDonald revs up her engine now, and she scoots out to a 3-length lead with 3/8 to go. Baby Longstocking, then Mischievous Rose, Sondra to the rail, Portofino, and pencils down. 3/4 bound, and it's Adair Castle on top by 3 with Baby Longstocking second. Mischievous Rose still at the rail third. Sondra fourth, 3/4, 1:26-2. That was a 28-1 third quarter, quickest stands of the mile, and Adair Castle brings it into the stretch as she's in sprint mode here, coming up to 7/8. Baby Longstocking off the ground, saving trip is inching in. Outside comes Mischievous Rose, and she's in with a shot. Adair Castle's going to have to be tough here. On the outside comes Mischievous Rose, and it's Mischievous Rose on the outside to play Giant Killer. Mischievous Rose, as getting it done was again in upset fashion. It's Mischievous Rose to steal the super final from Adair Castle in 1:54.
And there is what it is all about, celebration time. And you get the sense it's slightly surprising for the connections there. You know, they're just ecstatic that their filly was able to not only win, but upend the great champion, Adair Castle. Mischievous Rose, we thought if there was one that could upend the favorite, it might be her. And Louis Philippe, wow, what a night at the office for him.
Back to back.
Already 2 super final victories under his belt. We weren't sure if he got there the first time. No doubt this time.
No doubt about it. Louis, perfect drive, and you know what? Followed up a quick third quarter, 28-1, and was saving ground through that final turn, but definitely had the most trot through the stretch there to win a mild upset.
A solid second choice in the wagering, and she will get it done with Adair Castle doing all that road work. Has to settle for second. And Baby Longstocking, she was in the mix, not far off in third. And, you know, that challenge on the last turn, and when she got close to Adair Castle, may have just softened her up a little bit. Louis flips out off that cover and able to get the job done.
You don't see it often, but here you go, Greg. 1 through 6. It's a program order finish in this third race. The Ontario Sire Stakes Gold Super Final. 3-year-old fillies goes to Mischievous Rose.
The daughter of, you guessed it, Muscle Mass makes her way back to the winner's enclosure.
The Muscle Mass Triactor.
We will take another quick commercial break, and we'll be back with some winner's circle reaction next.
With more than 150 years of tradition behind it, Century Spring Farms has built a reputation for raising and breeding champions. Like two-time O'Brien Award winner and Horse of the Year, Century Pharaoh. Little Brown Jug champion, Limelight Beach. And current OSS stars, Century Invader and Century Inspector. Their sprawling 200-acre farm in the heart of southwestern Ontario is the ideal location for raising healthy and happy youngsters. Be sure to check out their yearling lineup at this fall's London Classic Yearling Sale. Century Spring Farms, producing champions in Ontario and beyond.
For the second time tonight, we see LPR in the winner's enclosure. This time it's with Mischievous Rose, a Luc Blais trainee for Determination of Montreal, Quebec. This one was bred by Haley and James Moore of Paris, Kentucky. And racing here in Ontario. Had just one win on her card coming in to tonight this season. Great time to pick up the second one and add a little over $112,000 to the bankroll.
Right on. Brings her just shy of $300,000 now earned in 2022. You know, the connections were just to the left of the broadcast. They were so excited with this trotter coming down the stretch.
Yeah, you've got to love that, seeing that authentic candid reaction from the connections, because all the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into getting them to race, and then that's the ultimate reward for them. So congratulations. Well done, Mischievous Rose, a double-digit winner, $10.70. The heavily favored Adair Castle. Just, what we talked about before the start of the race. She can get beat, but you better come up with a big race to do it, and that's exactly what Mischievous Rose did tonight. 1:54. That's a big mile tonight for the 3-0 trotting fillies. It's a cool, crisp fall evening.
Really quick final.
All right, we are going to now hear from the happy Winners Connections. Once again, here's Rob.
Well, we're here's trackside the winner. So again with Louis-Philippe Bois already back here, back-to-back wins in the OSS Super Final. This time aboard Mischievous Rose, a horse that you picked up the drive just a few starts ago. Only one victory so far this season. Been chasing Adair Castle. Tonight, you get the better of her.
Yeah. Even I told Luke before, says the rail isn't the best spot for a trotter, but the fact it was a short field, I said there's not much panic. Even if you'd like to sit behind at our castle, follow her, I knew that the Doug's filly was pretty quick off the gate. I honestly didn't even try to leave with her. I knew she would be crossed over, and then we'll have to sit third. But I actually like the fact that we had a slow half. I know my filly, she can sprint a lot. I think on the long term at our castle, when they go fast fraction, she seems like she never gets tired. So I said, if we got a shot maybe tonight, that's just, if it's a sprint down the lane, it could help us, and it did.
And how soon in that stretch drive did you know that you were going to get the better of her? Because she usually kind of kicks away. Tonight, your filly just kept on coming.
Yeah, we were trotting really fast down the lane. Like I said, that Mischievous Rose, and she showed that before too. Even at 2, she would come flying home for a little piece, be very fast. So in a sprint duel, I really like my chances there, and she was on top of her game tonight.
All right, Louis, congratulations back-to-back for Louis here tonight. Let's bring in Luke Blais. Luke, listen, a filly that been I guess a hard luck one in the sense that she's only got one victory in the season, but it's just because she's been chasing one like Adair Castle. How happy are you tonight to be in the winner's circle with her?
Yeah, very happy. I think to win the final in the goal, it's a plus to tonight. That mare, she always be close, but we can not enough close of the horse of Mark, but tonight I think she feeling good, and like Louis says, the fraction was good maybe for her, and turn right for us, yeah.
And the range of emotions in this sport, right? Tuscan Prince looked like he had a really big shot in the last. Obviously jumps it off, some unluck there, but unlucky moment for him there. But, let's talk about the emotions, and bounces right back with a win with Mischievous Rose.
Yeah, that's emotion. That was a little bit disappointing for my owner and Bob, because we have a big hope on that horse, the way he raced last couple of races, but that's the game, That's the game. Yeah.
Right. Well, congrats again, Luke. Mischievous Rose gets it done tonight, upsetting Adair Castle in the OSS Super Final.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine recently introduced its exciting new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To create your account or learn more, visit www.preferredequine.com or call 914-773-7777.
It is the Ontario Sire Stakes Super Final night from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Welcome back to live coverage here on COSA-TV. Race number 4 coming up. Back on the pace, 2-year-old fillies going to the post here. We'll take a moment to look at the leading stallions in the OSS program this year on the pacing side. A familiar face tops the standings. Bettor's Delight, more than $1.1 million in OSS earnings this year. Sports Writer, solidly in the number 2 spot, better than Cheddar, Sunshine Beach, and Control the Moment will round out the top 5 in this particular category, and all of those represented here in this upcoming 4th race. And we welcome you back inside the paddock location. Sugar Doyle's going to take a couple of races off. We welcome in Tony Elliott tonight as part of the 9-race marathon coverage. We hope you're enjoying it here on COSA-TV. And Tony, from what we've seen so far, it's kind of a typical super final night, right? Some stars doing their thing, some upsets, and, everything kind of in between.
Yeah, that's what we kind of expect on super final night. It's always either just right chalk all the way through, or it's like we've seen so far, a couple mild upsets, some bigger upsets that you weren't really expecting, especially in the last race there. Derek Castle looked like a slam dunk, but that's why we race him.
And we're getting set now to look at the field for race number 4. They'll be coming out to the track in just moments. We're getting a look at that stallion board. That was interesting, certainly the familiar faces you would expect to see in the provincial program there. All right, right now we are going to head back over and join Jamie McDonald, who's standing by with a special guest.
Sylvain Fillion joins us now just in front of the post 4 starter, Illusion Sealster. What can you tell us, about this 2-year-old filly? She's been racing from the behind, and she seems comfortable doing that.
Yeah, well, she's a little tricky leaving off the gate. She made a few breaks leaving the gate. So she needs to settle, and then you can ask her after that. But leaving the gate, you really have to hold on to her. But she can finish like a rocket. So hopefully we'll get good fractions, and we'll be able to catch them at the wire.
Yeah, we've seen kind of that finishing speed from her, and of course the breaks, like you said. But when you're dealing with 2-year-olds, how do you know when to push them a little bit and when to kind of hang on and let them get into their own gear?
It's a little tough to say. They're all different, They all react differently. But I've been driving her a few starts now. I think I pretty much know what to do with her.
Well, good luck. They're just walking out now. We'll let you grab the reins.
Thank you very much.
And they're just about to make their way from our paddock location here. We heard Sylvain Fillion talking about Illusion Sealster, daughter of State Treasurer. Another one that will have a sibling selling in this week's London Classic Yearling Sale. Hip number 109 is Ireland Sealster. They'll be going through the auction ring. This Gabby Sasso trainee, just 1 win in 8 this year, $43,000, but as Sylvain alluded to, has shown plenty of talent here so far this season. Here's a look at the paddock location. It is a busy spot as always. A lot happening in here tonight, and that's where all of really the excitement gets pent up and occurs. And we saw it on display there with the winners' connections of race number 3. Who will be celebrating this time around? It looks like a pretty wide open affair. Let's take a quick look at the standings in this division. Cheesy Smile leads the way. She's been a 4-time winner this season. Little over $200,000 banked. 150 points for her. Big plans. Your post 1 starter. Runner-up in the category. This one a daughter of First Crop Stallion. All bets off. Save the Last Dance will be starting from post number 10 this time around. Great pedigree potential on that family for Team Gallucci. They've got post 10 here. Going to be a bit of an uphill climb there. But then we'll see all of their big guns in action next in that 3-year-old filly pace.
Yeah, the 3-year-old filly pace for the Gallucci barn is something special that we likely won't see for a while, where there's 3 in there that any three of them could potentially win the Super Final tonight.
And Save the Last Dance is the younger sibling to Silver Label. Silver Label, the $660,000 winner who we're going to see next in race number 5 as we get a look at them on post parade. Starlight Dancer is number 3. Melissa Lamoureux trains this daughter of Arc Speak, 2-time winner this year, $93,000 made. The aforementioned Illusion Sealster 4. And number 5, Lions Better Day. Can Louis Philippe make it 3 straight wins tonight?
I think he certainly has a shot. 7-1 on the board. Coming off a gold win, 51-2. This horse is certainly peaking at the right time, and tonight could be the night Louis gets number 3 out of 4.
The point leader in the division, Cheesy Smile, looks to cap things off here with a super final win. Jody Jameson will be on board the Sports Writer filly number 7, Becca Mitchell, for Jason McGinnis. She's 2 for 8 on the season, $45,000 made. And the next one up, Freshen Up, a daughter of the aforementioned Better's Delight.
Yeah, Better's Delight has certainly taken the stud world by storm and hasn't slowed down even in his old age.
Trey Tata number 9 with Austin Sorey. And then the last one is Save the Last Dance. Nick Gallucci trains for the Miller Farms, and James McDonald driving a homebred, a daughter of Better's Delight, and as mentioned, a full sister to the champion Silver Label. So there is Illusion Sealster. Gabby Sasso trainee, looks good there, scoring out in the backstretch, and has shown plenty of talent, but at times has made mistakes, and that's been really the Achilles heel for the filly this season. State Treasurer, though, a sire that certainly we know well. We know what he did on the racetrack here in Ontario, and he's had some, despite limited numbers of foals racing, has had some impact horses, none the least of which is Stockade Sealster, the colt that a lot of people are going to be watching later on tonight.
Yeah, State Treasurer certainly wasn't necessarily a huge impact right away, but with this crop this year, and fillies and colts have been very special, and like you said, a limited crop. And just you look at Illusion Sealster in here, like you mentioned, highly talented. He seems to throw some very talented horses, and Stockade Sealster has certainly shown that, but it's just more about finding that consistency with these young horses.
Highly talented group here, full field of 10, an intriguing post position draw. This is the kind of race that our colleague Rob Reed Jr. Really does like, certainly, because there's plenty of opportunity on the handicapping front. How would you be playing the race, Tony, or what types of wagers would you be looking at here? I know this one does start the pick 4 wager, a popular wager here at Woodbine Mohawk Park.
I think if you're going for some big payouts, you likely go to the pick 4, but I think in here your exact is probably where you would likely lean towards, just because it's such an open board. I know it's maybe not the heavy favorite on top, and you're not looking for some value underneath, but just it being so wide open, the 7-5 favorite, if you can get in and maybe another horse on there, it could pay well, or you just totally toss the favorite and just go for 2 other ones, and I think you would definitely have a shot in this race.
Post 10 for Save the Last Dance, but despite that, 9-5, the public thinks that the filly has a great opportunity to overcome that obstacle, and it's hard to disagree. This one has really turned some heads in recent starts. She was scratched, unfortunately, from the She's a Great Lady elimination back on September 17th. Given some time off, though, re-qualified sharply, and the comeback race was very impressive. She didn't win. She was 3rd, but the back half was rock solid. 54 seconds, charted in 51 and 3. Only 6 starts. She's 4 for 6, a lot of money on her card, and it looks like she's following in the footsteps of her famous older sibling, Silver Label. Rob will bring you in to talk handicapping here in race number 4. What direction would you be going in?
So I went in the direction of the 10 Save the Last Dance, Craig. I saw her at Grand River Raceway and that effort when she broke on the front end. I don't think I've ever seen a horse go that type of a quarter, of a mile before she actually made that miscue, or while she made that miscue. And I think tonight the game plan has to be to just kind of turn her loose on the engine. You try to lead from post 10. Last time it didn't look like she liked being restrained early on in the mile, and that's who I landed on. But, Cheesy Smile, again, couple of favorites, but Cheesy Smile was one that I don't think likes to get to the lead before the wire. Last time it seemed like she was kind of waiting on Lions Better Day and then came back on her again. So I do think it comes down to those two. I lean Save the Last Dance, but I do think that Cheesy Smile is better than what she showed last time.
And on nights like tonight, you'll get certain drivers that if they get off on the right foot, they tend to win in bunches. Louis-Philippe Bois has won back-to-back. Post 5, kind of an attractive price in the middle of the gate. What do you think? Are you a believer in that kind of momentum or confidence on the driving side carrying over?
Have to now, don't you? I mean, I didn't think that he could win a Mischievous Rose even right after that race. He had mentioned to me, he said, I'm in pretty tough in the next one. I'll probably finish second. He ends up winning it. So, he put this horse in a great spot last time. If he does it again tonight, wouldn't it be wild if he wins 3 in a row?
I'm going to go upset shopping. 8-1 currently on for Illusion Sealster. The talent is there, and she's really going to have to try and put it all together tonight. Tony, before we send it up to Kenny, who's your pick?
I'm going to number 10, Save the Last Dance. You certainly can't argue with the pedigree of this 2-year-old filly by Better's Delight. I think it's going to have to lead from the outside, obviously, and it'll be on the engine early, and I think the fraction's going to be pretty hot, but I think she has the talent to see it through.
It's a good one coming up here, the 2-year-old filly pace final. Up to track announcer Kenny Middleton with the call.
Forward off the gate, really the first time we've seen her do that this season, so she's got options too. She's that 3-2 choice. Into the stretch, it's the super final for the freshman fillies on the pace. A good-looking start there. They're often pacing. And busting out of there with speed is Save the Last Dance. Pushing out with her is Freshen Up. Between horses, Tre Ta-Ta. There at the inside, Big Plans. Tucked in 5th goes Cheesy Smile. 6th outside of her is Lions Better Day. Back into 7th is Momentary Control. Further back to Starlight Dancer. Final 2 in the field as they march on over to the opening quarter marker. In the backfield, we've got Illusion Sealster. Behind her, Becca Mitchell. Save the Last Dance. She's charged up on the front. Boy, is she 26-1 as McDonald holds on for dear life. He's got a runaway freight train on his hands here. Save the Last Dance up front by 5, and she is smoking. McDonald just a passenger on her tonight. Save the Last Dance up front by 6. Freshen Up 2nd, Big Plans 3rd. Tre Ta-Ta 4th, 5th inside to Lions Better Day. Then Cheesy Smile popped out Momentary Control, scooting through his Starlight Dancer. Further back, Illusion Sealster and Becca Mitchell. 53-4 as they move into the far turn. Save the Last Dance on top here by 5. Back in 2nd, Freshen Up. Big Plans. Tre Ta-Ta here to the outside. Lions Better Day. Cheesy Smile gets underway on cover. Scooting up the rail is Starlight Dancer. On their way to 3/4. Still there with the lead. It's Save the Last Dance by a pair of lengths. Freshen Up, Big Plans. Overland, Lions Better Day. Cheesy Smile is Overland 5th. 3/4 in 1:22. And as they turn for home, Save the Last Dance. Still on that lead for McDonald, though running on fumes. Here on the outside, Freshen Up. Off cover from the backfield, Big Plans. Cheesy Smile on the far outside is rolling late for McClure now. And Cheesy Smile has got them on the outside. Cheesy Smile strikes the front and draws clear. It is Cheesy Smile. It's set up perfectly for her. She won it by just over a length. Big Plans was 2nd. 3rd inside to Freshen Up. Save the Last Dance, a sputtering 4th in 1:51-1.
Ken Middleton described it perfectly. The race set up exactly the way you would hope if you're the connections of Cheesy Smile. She is a very good closer, and when you saw the half in 53-4 flash up, you knew she was going to be in good shape.
Yeah, and that was the kind of risk that James McDonald had to take with Save the Last Dance. We've seen her be able to run away like that at Grand River at that gold event there, and she's just once she gets rolling, it's pretty tough to reel her in. And then obviously Cheesy Smile was right in her optimal striking position, and she was just waiting for her to come back after those heavy fractions.
Long shot, Big Plans. A good second, considering that she was in 3rd, and she had to do a lot of work just sort of keeping up to the pace, and then comes out and makes a move in the stretch. She couldn't hold off Cheesy Smile, but she was a solid runner-up. Freshen Up, long shot 3rd, and Save the Last Dance. I think you have to give high marks to the filly for hanging in there and finishing 4th off of those impossible fractions. The connections are going to be wondering, what caused her to be basically a runaway here tonight. They'll go back to the drawing board. The good news is for the filly is that she has an incredible engine in her, and if they can get that a little bit more manageable, whether it's late this season or next year, they'll have something probably pretty special on their hands. But Cheesy Smile tops in the division this season, and she is now a super final champion as well, 51-1. A happy Johnny Pentland, co-owner, so happy on two fronts here, and he'll be all smiles, no question about that.
Oh, for sure. And John Pentland's one of the good guys in the business and works hard and doesn't have a huge barn, but certainly delivers when the big money's on the line. And he was just ecstatic when the Cheesy Smile crossed the wire first, and he deserves everything he gets.
Teaming up here with Bob McClure, a cool customer in the race bike, and guides this daughter of Better Than Cheddar to her 5th win. She's 5 for 10 now on the season and will vault over $300,000 in seasonal earnings. Moving back into the winner's enclosure, we will take a moment for another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll hear more from the happy winning connections of race 4.
It's a Breeders' Crown showdown at Woodbine Mohawk Park. 2 nights of incredible racing, 12 divisional championships, over $6.5 million in prize money. Join us on October 28th and 29th for harness racing's richest, most prestigious year-end fight to the finish. From the long shots to the sure shots, it all comes down to the Breeders' Crown.
By now, you know the name COSA-TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.
Enjoy the thrill of the race anywhere, anytime with hpibet.com. Join for free and use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch and wager when you can't be at the track. Stream live racing from over 450 tracks. Bet with ease from anywhere. It's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming, and your first bet is on us. Go to hpibet.com to join for free today.
Cheesy Smile, a little over even money, $4.40 for the win. Big plans let go at a big price, as well as freshen up. The results, some nice exotic returns, all the way up to a superfecta worth more than $2,778. Congratulations to Cheesy Smile. She is the super final champion, and the mother of this one, Frame Worthy, has been a very good producer so far. This is her 3rd $100,000 plus winner. Had the top filly Andra Day, and now Cheesy Smile becomes her richest offspring with that victory. And in a moment, we'll hear from the winning connections here of race number 4. One of our viewers, Sean Copey, commenting on big plans and the huge price and kind of surprising. I would concur. And, it looked like at the top of the stretch, she had a shot to maybe score the monumental upset.
Yeah, I thought this filly was good all year long. Like, she's banked over $211,000, 4 for 10 on the season. It was great early on in the Battle of the Bells, but it's been struggling lately. But it seems to race big when the money's on the line, and that certainly was the case tonight. And the trip wasn't easy, and she kept fighting. That seems to be the case as the all bets off.
Incredible returns for sure. As mentioned, winning connections are standing by. We'll join Rob next.
All right, I'm here in the winner's circle. Some happy connections here for Cheesy Smile, winner of the OSS Super Final for 2-year-old filly pacers. And first of all, Bob, I came in here today, and the first thing you said to me when we had a conversation, actually you signed a picture for me first, but the first thing you said to me was you would not trade your drive on this horse for anyone else in the field.
No, I felt she was the best coming in. Even me and you talked last week when she did get beat, but if there's 50 more feet she wins, she's just a very funny horse. And high turn of speed. I don't think there's a one that can speed-wise go with her, but John's just kept her so good, and she was peaking, and she's also a sweetheart to drive, so I like that.
And your strategy going in, was perfect because you actually kind of mapped out the race for me in that conversation before the races tonight.
Well, the one thing about her, you don't really have to be worried about being too far back because she does have a high turn of speed and sprint, but at the same time, when they're blazing fractions along, that just couldn't have worked out any better.
Congrats, Bob. Let's bring in John Pentland now. Real nice filly you've got here, Cheesy Smile. She's been fantastic in the OSS really all season long. Is this something that you were expecting from her tonight?
Yeah, I was. I was expecting a good performance. Who knows how the race sets up, and the way Tony Beaton's filly beat us last week. Anything can happen. But I thought I had the best filly in the race, and I'm happy that she's the one coming home with me tonight.
And I was standing right near you and over by the paddock there, and the range of emotions when you said her to come on, nothing beats, winning a race like this.
Oh, for sure. I've had a lot of disappointments in the super finals over the years, and so maybe a little vindication, but it felt awful good.
And what's up next for Cheesy Smile? Does she go away now till her 3-year-old campaign, or?
Yeah, that's it. She wasn't paid into the Breeders' Crown, so we'll call it a season and put her away. And she's going away healthy, so we couldn't be happier about that.
All right, perfect. Well, congrats again. Let's bring in Pete Charlton, part of the ownership group. And listen, you've been very excited in here. We got a raucous crowd here too. Let's just talk about what it's like to be part of this ride with Cheesy Smile.
Oh, it's been wonderful. From the start of the year when we bought her in Harrisburg, we all went down with John and picked her out. It's just so satisfying to see her. It all come to fruition tonight, and it's just been a wonderful group, the ownership group, and you couldn't ask for anything better. Yeah, and John as the trainer has just been a dream come true, this whole thing.
And what are the nerves like going in a race like this? You end up being the odds-on choice at 6-5, but what are the emotions before the race and going through it?
I wasn't that nervous tonight because I just know John's always going to have her ready, and he's talked all week about how good she is. She's peaking at the right time, and I was confident, more confident tonight than any other race. Yeah.
Well, congrats again, Pete. Nice filly you got there. You're now an OSS Super Final champion. Cheesy Smile, winner of the 2-year-old filly pacing division of the OSS Super Finals.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU covers the sport from all angles with news, features, photography, opinion, and analysis of racing. Also, HRU covers breeding and sales, as well as industry stories you need to know. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. And the best news is that it's free to subscribe. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com and see what everyone is talking about.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Mr. Levesque, Mach 3, Cadabra, Muscle Mass, and Precious Bunny, to name a few. Our stallions' progeny have won major events, including the Hambletonian. Tara Hill Stud are currently standing 9 of the industry's top stallions. Alarm Detector, Control the Moment, Dance and Lou, Flanagan Memory, Green Manalishi, He's Watching, Muscle Mass, Resolve, and Sports Writer. Our facility is modern, our staff knowledgeable. Consider Tara Hill Stud when choosing a home for your stallion. Tara Hill Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to tarahills.com.
Welcome to COSA-TV, Central Ontario Standardbred Association coverage tonight of the Ontario Sire Stakes Super Finals from beautiful Woodbine Mohawk Park. Cheesy Smile emerging victorious in race number 4 tonight for the 2-year-old filly pacers. Heard from all of the connections there. We should give a shout out as well to the caretaker, Victoria McKinnon. And a big shout out to all of the wonderful caretakers, big part of tonight's action. Gold Point leaders in the 3-year-old filly pace division. A couple of Gallucci trainees at the top, Silver Label, Velvet Stinger, I Love On Gate is third. Once again, let's go over to Jamie McDonald with a special guest.
Aaron joins us now as we're just making our way to race 5. I caught him before he catches up with his horse. Scott, you've got the rail here. Coming into, let's call it your original home track. How are you feeling about being back here tonight?
Oh, I'm super happy. I mean, the super final night was always, when I was younger, it was the biggest night of my life. Every year built up to these moments. So, as much as it's me just getting back from injury and not knowing any of the horses I'm driving tonight, it's still fun to be here.
I was going to say that's quite the challenge here. So good luck on your first drives here behind these horses. It's always a challenge, but we know Scott Zieren's up for it.
Thank you.
Nice to see Scotty Zieren back in his home province of Ontario for a rare return visit if it's a non-Grand Circuit night. And, he, I'm sure, likes to get back here. And, aside from driving on a night like tonight, get a chance to catch up with friends and family, I'm sure. And, he hasn't been back in the bike that long, Tony, recovering from an injury that sidelined him on Hambletonian Day, unfortunately.
Yeah, he just, I think he returned on the Kentucky Futurity Day. Obviously, that was an awesome day of racing, and I'm sure he was aiming to get back for that day. And then he flies into Woodbine Mohawk Park tonight to compete in 8 $225,000 finals. So he's jumping back in at the right time. There's certainly a lot of money on the line, and I'm sure he's hoping to get his hands pick up where they left off.
In the Mood is 7-1, so a contender, not one of the favorites, but very nice filly in her own right. She has a fast record of 150-3 taken this year, and already 183,000 plus banked. She went 5 for 8 last year. Had avoided many of the top fillies in the division last year, not by design probably, but just maybe a little bit of more of a late bloomer. So they took a different path, and it probably served her well this year because she has stepped up to the top division. So I think Scott Zieren picks up, kind of a sneaky live drive, if you will, here for In the Mood for trainer Sean Stacey, enjoying another excellent season again in the Ontario Sire Stakes program. Getting a look at all 10 of them making their way from the world-class paddock location here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. So 8-1 on number 1, In the Mood. That's the first one we'll see on Post Parade. There's number 2, Prohibition Legal. She was the champion filly from a year ago. Took her a while to get into the win column this season. Finally broke out last time in a gold final. We're going to take a look at that after the complete post-parade stablemate Velvet Stinger. And there's the other of the powerful 1-2-3 combination from the Gallucci barn.
Yeah, we get a look at number 5, Speaker Nancy of the Sean Barrington barn. It looks like it should be rounding into form here, and we'll step up against the best in the division.
Got the gold. Daughter of Better's Delights had an excellent season. 14 for 17 on the board this year. 142,000 earned for trainer Ian Moore. Sylvain Fillion driving.
Dr. Ian Moore also sends out number 7, I Love On Gate. It was in pretty tough all year, but looks to bounce up to the top here.
8 is Balance. Another from the Sean Stacey barn. 132,000 on her card. She's a Daughter of Better's Delight, with Double J, Jody Jameson, in the bike.
We get a look at number 9, Gouda 1. Bob McClure will look to come right back here with a Murray Brother trainee. It had some success early in the year and looks like it'll be rounding into top form with a couple big last scores in his last 2 starts.
A lot of anticipation later tonight to watch 2-year-old phenom Stockade Sealster in action. His older filly sister, Shanghai Sealster, completes the field here. She's 45-1 from post 10. Ashley Hensley does the training, and husband Ed is in the driver's seat. As promised, we're going to take a look back to Prohibition Legal, the Big Jim filly, finally getting her first win of the campaign last time out in a gold division here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. She was the queen of the rookie division last year, went 8 for 9, tasted defeat only once, and made well over $500,000. But has had some health issues that have kept her from getting back on the track on a regular rotation this season. So she's just kind of working back into shape, and Tony finally puts it all together here. Should be a good springboard coming into tonight's super final.
Yeah, they were aiming to have her back for this, and obviously the Breeders' Crown coming up, and the eliminations next weekend and the finals the week after, obviously. And like Nick Colucci said in the interview after this race, when she's on the front end, she's never been beat, and Silver Label gave her all she could handle and couldn't get by her.
And I think that really speaks volumes. Not only the fact that she won, she was able to hold off her stablemate Silver Label. That's an excellent filly taking a run at you late. Now, she was gaining on Prohibition Legal, but it had been a while since that champion filly had found her way into the winner's circle. So logically, she should be even better here tonight. Now, the big question is, Rob Reed, can someone outside the big three take home the hardware?
I don't know about that, Greg. I mean, it's certainly a powerful three-headed monster, for the Galucci Millar Farms combination. And I looked at this. First of all, I mean, have we seen three in a race like this for the same connections that look this strong? They draw right beside each other as well. I mean, it's just kind of wild, really, when you think about it. I thought Prohibition Legal, she looks like she's back. And not that she was racing poorly at the start of the year, but it is kind of crazy that she's only got one victory in the season after going 8 for 9 last year. I thought that Velvet Stinger was kind of the now horse for these connections, and thought that maybe she had a chance in here. 9-1 is a big price on her. I think she's probably the value. I guess if I had to go bomb hunting, looking at the board right now, it would probably be maybe Gouda 1, the 9, or the 1 in the mood. But I don't think you beat one of those three. Maybe not all those three. I think they can sweep the trifecta here.
And Tony, what a testament again to the strength of the program. When you look at all the fillies in the field, 9 of the 10, all with well over $100,000 banked this year, many with $200,000 plus, and a lot of them simply going to get overlooked here on the odds board.
Yeah, that's a surprising thing. Like you mentioned, it's when you make $100,000 in a year, you're definitely a very talented horse, and making $100,000 is not easy to do. And when you got the three-headed monster in here, it's you certainly get overlooked, but there's not a slouch in this field, that's for sure.
A look there at another possible long shot contender. Got the gold for Ian Moore. Model of consistency this season. She coming off a runner-up finish last time out to yet another Galucci trainee. Raptors won in an overnight event, a filly that will not be here tonight. Prior to that, fourth, only beaten a couple of lengths in a gold event. Always in the hunt. A great ticket horse, certainly, at 7-1. Double J on board Balance for Sean Stacy. Nice 1-2 punch for that barn in here as well. But it looks like In the Mood certainly appears on paper anyway to be the stronger half of the entry. And Scott's here on in the driver's seat here. How much weight do you put in to that? Scott, one of the top drivers in North America here tonight. But, we've got some of the best drivers in the world here on a nightly basis as well.
Yeah, I think he's definitely one of the best big money drivers in North America, but he certainly stacks up against our guys here, and then on some occasion he gets the best of them. But I think our guys here are going to be holding pretty tough here when the big money's on the line.
The starting gate rolling for race number 5. Super final for 3-year-old filly pacers. Another $225,000 purse is on the line. A check of the tote board. Prohibition Legal looks to win for the second time this season. And she's even money on the board. Stablemate Silver Label not far behind at 7-2. Ken Middleton standing by with the call of race number 5.
Victory, a winning effort in 151. See if she can cap off another great success story here in the Sire Stakes program for owner breeder Millar Farms and trainer Nick Colucci. They're in behind the gate for tonight's 5th race. Gathering speed approaching the start. Often pacing, speed comes outside from I Love On Gate. Stablemate Got the Gold is out fast too. Silver Label up into the top 3. Early Prohibition Legal drops in 4th inside. In the Mood is 5th. 6th outside to Balance. Further back we go 7th to find Velvet Stinger. Speaker Nancy is 8th towards the inside. Gouda 1 has just one rival beaten. Shanghai Sealster trailing 10th. On to the quarter they go. Long shot leader I Love On Gate on top over Got the Gold in 26 and 3. Silver Label sat in 3rd, but she's not going to sit for long as McNair sits ahead. Silver Label powers her way to the front. Hot on her heels, Stablemate, Prohibition Legal. Then it's back inside to Balance 5th, 6th in the Mood, gap of 2 to Velvet Stinger. 7th underway comes Speaker Nancy. Further back to Gouda 1, trailing Shanghai Sealster. Field across the backstretch, Prohibition Legal. The ball is officially in her court as she leads past a 54 and 4 half. Second to the inside, her stablemate Silver Label. I Love On Gate 3rd, Balance with a tough trip. 3rd outside, she's marching. Picking up her cover comes Velvet Stinger from in 4th now. Trapped into the rail is I Love On Gate 5th. Got the Gold 6th, 7th Overland Speaker Nancy. Further back to Gouda 1. Shuffled, pinned into the rail is in the Mood. Trailing still Shanghai Sealster. Coming up to 3/4 and they chase the favorite Prohibition Legal. She's on top 3 parts of a length. Balance on the outside. Pocket sitter remains Silver Label. Cranked up on cover comes Velvet Stinger off that cover now. 3/4 of 123 and 1, and it's Prohibition Legal into the stretch. First over at her was Balance. Pocket sitter gets the inside lane. Silver Label coming through, and it's Silver Label coming through at the inside as she picks up stablemate Prohibition Legal late. It is Silver Label for McNair to win the super final. Prohibition Legal hung tough to get second. Down the center, Got the Gold 3rd. Balance a tough 4th in 150 and 2.
150 and 2. That is a big league effort on a cool fall night here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Silver Label was upended the last time she hooked up with stablemate Prohibition Legal. Turns the tables in a big way tonight, and with that victory has put herself well over $400,000 now in seasonal earnings. $750,000 lifetime for the daughter of Bettor's Delight. It's been an incredible campaign for her, and kind of fitting. She's been probably the top filly pound for pound all season long, Tony, that she is able to take home the super final title as well.
Yeah, and I think she just showed her tightness after racing all season. Like Prohibition Legal obviously just can't come back off an injury or health issue or whatever it was, but Silver Label was certainly ready to go tonight, and Doug had her loaded in the pocket and found room along the inside, and Prohibition Legal just didn't have quite what she normally has tonight.
Prohibition Legal does show some good fight at the end and appeared to hold off the charging Got the Gold, who was down on the inside. Another good result for her to finish 3rd. Balance, tough trip, and she picks up a nice check, though, holding on for 4th at very long odds. And Gouda 1 was charging late, just kind of ran out of racetrack and finished 5th, but was as live as anybody at the end of the mile. Silver Label, though, gets it done for the Miller Farms, and Nick Gallucci, this homebred, has kind of quietly over 2 years, I would say, put together quite a resume. And again, as part of that powerful brigade of filly pacers from the Gallucci barn. 150 and 2. That is a new career racing record as well. So quite a feather in the cap of Silver Label here, taking home the beautiful OSS blanket as part of the festivities here this evening. That gives us time to take another break. We'll be back with more in a moment here on COSA-TV.
With more than 150 years of tradition behind it, Century Spring Farms has built a reputation for raising and breeding champions. Like two-time O'Brien Award winner and Horse of the Year Century Pharaoh. Little Brown Jug champion, Limelight Beach. And current OSS stars, Century Invader and Century Inspector. Their sprawling 200-acre farm in the heart of southwestern Ontario is the ideal location for raising healthy and happy youngsters. Be sure to check out their yearling lineup at this fall's London Classic Yearling Sale. Century Spring Farms, producing champions in Ontario and beyond.
Welcome back to Woodbine Mohawk Park, Super Final night. And it's Silver Label, winning yet another one this season. She's now 6 for 12, has won 50% of the time. She was 6 for 8 last year, one of the champion fillies in the OSS. And a very consistent sort as well. 150 and 2, that's a career best clocking tonight. And it is Doug McNair doing the driving. He hasn't been the regular driver of this one all season long, but when he has been behind her, the duo have had tremendous success. And you get a nice price tonight if you've been a backer of her all along. $8.10 the win ticket return. Teaming up with the stablemate for a solid exacta return. The two favorites, just in reverse order, gets you $17.50. The dollar superfecta $384 and change. And that race wrapped up the early pick 5 play. And a dollar ticket, $1,769.90. And that's with a couple of heavy favorites in the 5-race sequence. Very nice return. Congratulations to anyone who was able to pick up that one. I want to thank our good friend John Hennessy. Doc Hennessy with the big update on the hockey game. Leafs down 1-0 after 1. Rough start. 0-1-1. Cameraman Cam with the latest update. All right, we are going to hear now from the winning connections of race number 5 as we send it trackside.
Here in the winner's circle with the connections of Silver Label, getting it done in the OSS Super Final for 3-year-old pacing fillies. First of all, Doug, you picked up this drive, a few times during the season. Pretty nice filly to pick up.
Yeah, their misfortune with the other filly being off for a few months, it's my fortune because once James come back, I got to pick her back up again, so it worked out good, and she raced good again tonight.
And coming into the race tonight, I mean, the barn's got 3 in there, and you're certainly on one of them, probably more powerful ones of that trio. Is that something you're mindful of throughout the race?
Well, we all drew pretty good. We were kind of on the inside of a few of the speed was on the outside of us, so I figured I'd try to take full advantage of it and try to grab a hold of the front as early as I could, and I figured James would be on the move, and she's a nice filly to follow, so she got us to promised land.
She seemed real strong tonight. Safe to say the best she's been since you started driving her?
Yeah, she was real good. Last week the other filly, James, she'd run out a little bit, and mine was running in, so this week I just kind of took my luck and waited for her to drift a little bit, and it worked out good for us. So she got up real good, and she was strong to the wire. They raced good.
All right, congrats again, Doug. Let's bring in Nick Gallucci. All right, Nick Gallucci, winning trainer here. And, I stood right beside you watching the race, and you kind of thought Prohibition Legal might end up the winner. A little bit surprised it was Silver Label.
Yeah, Silver definitely stepped up her game today. Perfect drive by Doug. I don't know if it's a half and 54 or what, but Legal just didn't really fight her home the way I was thinking. But all the credit goes to Silver Label and Doug.
And you talk the prep for a race like that. I mean, you've got 3 horses, all 3 of them in with a chance. They all drop beside each other. What goes into the week leading up to a race like this?
It's almost better when you have 3 in one division because you're focused on the one race, right? So you do everything you can and you get them sound, you train them up the same, and you just hope one of them comes out on top.
All right, congrats again, Nick. And you know what? I wouldn't mind having 3 like that in a division either. Let's bring in the man that does, though, George Millar. And listen, I mean, got to just be an incredible feeling. You've had a real fantastic couple of seasons in the OSS, and now tonight, Silver Label got beat by her stablemate. Last year, Prohibition Legal. This time, she gets to the winner's circle.
Yeah, you know what? They're all 3 of them are nice fillies, and obviously Label and Legal are 2 of the best fillies. But Label's turn was coming. And I think she was kind of due. And I was sitting up there with my brother and watching the race. And the only thing I said to him before the race, is because, you know, for 45 years, my father's been a big part of it. He passed away 3, 4, 5 years ago. And even Dougie said to me tonight, he said, we won this one for your dad. And I said, you're right. And I said, you know what? Hey, Dad, we won this one. So I'm pretty happy.
That's beautiful to hear. And, you know, so now when you've got 3 like this, and even, you know, Raptors won as well, right? I mean, that's another good one. But when you've got 3 like this, has she now become your favorite?
You know what? They're all my favorites. I mean, you know what? I love them all, and even the ones that don't race quite as good as these ones. I mean, I've never seen one I didn't love, and it's just a passion, and I love them all. So, yeah, Label's a favorite, Legal's a favorite. I mean, hopefully we see both of them, and Legal's okay, and she winds up in the Breeders' Crown next year, or next week. And but yeah, no, I love all of them. And Velvet Stinger too. I mean, she's such a tough little filly. I mean, she was so gritty coming first over there. She's never seen a 150 mile, and so I mean, I was proud of her too. Very proud of her. Yeah.
Just like your kids, right?
Yeah, just like my kids. I'm very proud of my kids. Very proud of my kids. Yeah, and my wife. And I want to say hello to my wife because she was sick and couldn't get here tonight. And so I said, don't worry about it. I said, we'll take care of it. So we did, honey. Yeah.
Very happy to chat with you here, Mr. Millar. Congratulations again. Silver Label, now an OSS Super Final champion.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine recently introduced its exciting new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To create your account or learn more, visit www.preferredequine.com or call 914-773-7777.
Woodbine Mohawk Park is the scene of the Super Finals tonight, and in the midst of a busy and really exciting stretch of racing here in Ontario. Of course, we've got to think about the Breeders' Crown. We'll have eliminations for those next week as we welcome the Crown back to Canada. And boy, we're excited about that, and really excited to think about, as we welcome Sugar Doyle back to the desk, some of these great OSS performers banging heads against the Grand Circuit types. That's always an added element of intrigue.
Indeed. I mean, time and time again, Ontario sired horses have proven they can go with any horse on the planet. So when the Breeders' Crown comes around, I'm sure we'll see plenty of these in action here at Woodbine Mohawk Park.
And tonight we're going to get a little break from the OSS Super Final action. Next, the open handicap pace, and what a great group we have assembled here. Full field of 10. That means we get that big purse of $65,000 up for grabs here tonight. Right. Tattoo Artist saddled with post number 10. Again, this is an open handicap. How good do you have to be at this level when they're handicapping you with post 10? And I don't know if that is still enough to beat this horse in his current form. Little guy, boy, has he been sharp this year.
Oh, he's just got such a big motor, and that big motor starts right off the car. He's likely going to get plenty of respect if James decides to point him once again from that outside poster. You know, when you're so good like this, horses, they don't want to take themselves out of the race trying to mix it up with the likes of Tattoo Artist in the early going. I see him making front and being very tough to take down once again.
We just saw George Millar in the winner's circle. Very happy George Millar. That's a great story when you think about the tremendous health scare that he had about a year and a half ago during the pandemic, the dream season last year, and he's just enjoying each and every moment of the success that he's had. And coming off a win in race number 5 tonight in a super final. He's got powertrain. He's turned into a nice 4-year-old. He's maybe one of those, wouldn't you say, Sugar, that has had that tough time adjusting or taking that next step. He's been very good again this year, but he hasn't been able to elevate and compete quite at this point with the top guys week in and week out. But he's shown signs from time to time, and this will be a learning year for him.
That win last time out was impressive. He went first up when he made the move. There was nothing that could go with him, and he just took off from them. So powertrain does get tough going into that 4-year-old season when you got to face the best in Ontario.
And I can tell you the powertrain actually has returned into our paddock location. He's right in behind us. Looks like there may be changing the race bike on him. I'm not sure what's going to happen, so we'll keep one eye on that, one eye on the post parade. Here's a look at last year's Pepsi North America Cup winner, Desperate Man. He also has had a kind of an up and down 4-year-old season. He's shown signs of brilliance. One-time winner this year, won 50-2 at Flamborough back early in the season, and $140,000 on the card.
He surprised me going around the Flamborough half-miler. Desperate Man. You know what? We know he can get around a half, and hopefully that means something come next May around London.
There you go. Doing some early solicitation for the Camluck Classic. Absolutely.
Why not?
We had a look at Mapo's Lion a moment ago. Hard-hitting son of Sunshine Beach, enjoying kind of a breakout year for him. Codename Cigar Box. Horse that had been racing in Western Canada. Boy, has he made the transition beautifully to Ontario.
I just saw trainer Jody Cullen was able to grab a snapshot. I said, I'd love to get a picture of you in Codename Cigar Box to send to our friends back in Alberta, because he had a huge following out there, did some great things for the Kelly Hort connections, and come up to Woodbine Mohawk Park. He's gotten there in 49-1 here for the new lifetime best, but I don't think we've seen his best just yet. We'll look forward to seeing him as a 5-year-old here during the summer in Ontario.
You mentioned horses for the Camluck Classic. One who was there this year and was the runner-up was Tattoo Artist, and he is in the field here tonight. Post 10 for him, and he, over the course of his career, has continually amazed me. He's not the biggest horse out there. He's banging heads with the best of the best all season long. He's got so much tremendous speed. He goes those big fractions. And he's gone some blistering miles over the course of his career. Here he is late in his 5-year-old campaign. It looks like he's just getting stronger.
Amazing. 18 for 20. Top 3 finishes, 9 wins in the season, and again, just keeps on getting stronger. Mentioned earlier on the card, if he was leading and his lead was diminishing down to a neck or winning by a half length, we might think, well, maybe he's getting a bit tired, but here he is winning by open lengths again last time out. So Tattoo Artist, you know what? I don't know if he's been better at any point in his career.
I don't think he has, to be honest. He is razor sharp, Rob. The last time we were here doing a show, October the 1st, he was racing on the undercard that night, and he made a 149-mile look so effortless, and the body language of the horse was certainly eye-catching coming to the wire. And, based on that, even with post 10, do you think anyone could knock him off here tonight?
Sorry, I know you guys are coming to me. I'm here now.
Oh, there you are, Rob.
Guys.
Sorry, we were just talking about Tattoo Artist. The last time he raced here, remember the body language of the horse? He looked so strong, so powerful coming under the wire. It looked like he could have gone around and did it again.
Yeah, I agree, Greg. He was unbelievable, and really, he's put together a fantastic campaign. When you look at his recent starts, just those couple of losses to Bulldog Hanover, and Post 10 tonight, I mean, I don't think it should bother him too much. He's got speed off the gate, but this is a pretty good field top to bottom. I think he warrants that 4 to 5 price. But the one that I'd look for an upset, and I was hoping for a much bigger number than we're seeing right now, is the 4 Carbine. This is a horse I've been on in each of his last 2. Was one that I thought raced really well in the preferred when he got locked in on the 24th of September. But again, the price is too short for me at 5 to 1. So I certainly think that Tattoo Artist has the edge here. And really, for me, I guess the best value on the board right now would be the 9, War We Vital at 9 to 1.
I was going to say that is a price that jumps out at me. 14 to 1 on Desperate Man as well. Sugar, even though he's 1 for 13 this season, he's thrown in some really good races from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
One that jumps out to me was the second place finish in the Canadian Pacing Derby, Elim, behind Bulldog Hanover. He actually wrestled the lead at one point in the stretch, ultimately finished second, but unfortunately hasn't been able to sort of come back and consistently duplicate that at this point in time. Like Powertrain, I think he's going to get to a point where he adjusts and puts it together and starts to build some momentum, but I think he's capable at any time of jumping up with a big race, and at 14 to 1, it's the type of night where you want to play him. At least consider him underneath Tattoo Artist.
You know what? When it's a horse like Desperate Man, we know he's much better than his last line suggests, where he finished well back. So when a horse of his caliber makes a start like that, finishes like that, the connections are going over this horse with a fine-tooth comb. They want to know what happened.
That's right. And we've been talking about the Breeders' Crown coming up here as well. A lot of people are going to be anticipating the rematch between Bulldog Hanover and Allywag Hanover after Allywag finally was able to slay the dragon, so to speak, in Lexington. A name that I'm going to throw into the ring, though, that will probably keep both of them honest right now is Tattoo Artist. The way he's been, as sharp as he's been, and if he's as good tonight as he has been, I don't think he could be heading into the Crown in better form.
He looks so good going to the gate here, too. You know what? He's got his chest stuck out. He doesn't think he can get beat right now. That's the way Tattoo Artist is going into tonight, and it's the way he might go into Breeders' Crown night as well.
What is it they call it? Little man syndrome. I think he's got that little man syndrome, but I like it, and he can back it up.
He
for
sure can.
So it's a great-looking edition of the Open Handicap Pay. $65,000 on the line here on OSS Super Final Night. Once again, back upstairs to Kenny.
Big favorite here, the 10 Tattoo Artist at 1 to 2. James McDonald aboard that Dr. Ian Moore trainee. McDonald's got his nose right up on the gate. Field is set for a start. Here they come, gapped off with 7 American History. They're off and pacing. And a good beginning on the outside. Wheels on Fire fires out of there, along with Tattoo Artist coming through at the inside, codename Cigar Box. And 4th outside, Powers Up, War We Vital. A tucked in 5th, Powertrain. 6 crossed over, Carbine. Further back we go inside to find Desperate Man. Then it's Cold Creek Cobble, Mappos Lion. And the early trailer is American History. So to the quarter they've battled in 26 and 2, and the battle rages on. Tattoo Artist, favorite, found the front. He's under pressure now from Speedster War We Vital. War We Vital on the outside sinks his claws into Tattoo Artist on the way to 3/8. Wheels on Fire right there, 3rd, codename Cigar Box, 4th, Powertrain, 5th, popped out 6 now. Here comes Carbine, tracking cover, Desperate Man, Cold Creek Cobble, Mappos Lion, and 2 more, 2, American History. War We Vital got roughed up in a bid for the lead, but he's on point now, 54 and 1 that half, 27 and 4 second quarter. He leads a length and a half. On pocket sitter, Tattoo Artist, it's another 2 lengths back. There inside is Wheels on Fire, 3rd, 4th outside to Carbine, 5th trapped in is codename Cigar Box. Desperate Man advances on the rim. Powertrain, he is towards the inside from in 7th, pumped up, looks for racetrack. Outside from an 8th goes Cold Creek Cobble, Mappos Lion, and American History down to 3/4 in 1:21 and 1. Dazzling speed. War We Vital on top. Here comes Tattoo Artist now, and Tattoo Artist takes on War We Vital as they come to 7/8. Tattoo Artist strikes the front. Warwe Vital back into second now. Third is Carbine. Codename Cigar Box comes on with Late Life from in fourth. Deep Stretch. Tattoo Artist is still there. Here's Codename Cigar Box surging on the end. Tattoo Artist. Tattoo Artist holds on to win in 149-1.
Well, Tattoo Artist gets it done, but needed the wire, it appeared, as Codename Cigar Box, one that we were talking about, charging on the end. Another eye-catching rally from that one, but Tattoo Artist continues the current win streak, and James McDonald had an early decision to make. Sugar wrestled the horse back a little bit to release the horse to the front. The horse didn't want to do that, but James insisted, and it was ultimately a winning move.
It was amazing to see James was able to let Warwe Vital go, but Tattoo Artist did not want anything to do with it. He started throwing his head immediately, but you know what? Braving up this horse going into a Breeders' Crown race in a few weeks.
Tattoo Artist sent off at 2-5 despite post 10. We'll click over Codename Cigar Box with Carbine and Mapo's Lion rounding out the top four. Another look at Tattoo Artist hitting the wire first. That's his 10th trip to the winner's circle this season and 30th lifetime. Let's take another quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more in a moment on COSA-TV.
Oh, wild finish!
It's a Breeders' Crown showdown at Woodbine Mohawk Park. 2 nights of incredible racing, 12 divisional championships, over $6.5 million in prize money. Join us on October 28th and 29th for harness racing's richest, most prestigious year-end fight to the finish. From the long shots to the sure shots, it all comes down to the Breeders' Crown.
By now, you know the name COSA-TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.
Enjoy the thrill of the race anywhere, anytime with hpibet.com. Join for free and use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch and wager when you can't be at the track. Stream live racing from over 450 tracks. Bet with ease from anywhere. It's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming, and your first bet is on us. Go to hpibet.com to join for free today.
$149-1, our first sub 150 clocking of the night. Might be the only one we see this evening. The weather not really conducive to those kind of miles. So it speaks to the quality and how sharp Tattoo Artist has been this season. Doc Moore, winning trainer's got to be very happy with the way the son of He's Watching has been able to put together this 5-year-old season. Of course, we'll see Doc with his 2-year-old phenom, Stockade Sealster, a little bit later on tonight. And Codename Cigar Box, again, one that we've kind of been keeping an eye on since he transitioned here from Western Canada. Kind of made an immediate splash and just getting better. And he's only 4 years old, so the future looks bright for him. And racing at this level here in Ontario, he's got a chance to put a lot of money on his program.
Yeah, he's very good. I mean, Kelly Hort does great things out there between Alberta and BC. And as mentioned, I did get a chance to catch up with Jody Cullen briefly prior to that race. And I got a nice photo of her with Codename Cigar Box. And I got asking, what was the thoughts on this horse coming? And you know what? Took the mark, 49-1. There he is, just beat in 49-1. We haven't seen his best just yet. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he's going to fare here next summer.
That was a lot of fun. Kind of a nice way to break things up tonight. We've got 8 championships that we're covering. We've already had 5 of them in the books. A little bit of a break here, and then 3 more left to go here tonight. A lot of fun watching these older horses bang heads, and really gets us excited about the Breeders' Crown and some of the showdowns we're going to see in a couple of weeks.
The one thing that I caught there off the gate, Wheels on Fire, tattoo artist, the size difference, hey. Tattoo artist, not very big, but just when you see that big Wheels on Fire next to him, right? Wow.
Yeah. And when tattoo artist, as they say, is standing on top of his bankroll, then he levels up the playing field a little bit.
Sure
but
does.
You know, Wheels on Fire, very nice horse in his own right as well. Again, want to welcome all of the viewers tuning in tonight. It's been a lot of fun having everybody weigh in. We asked the question earlier tonight. Seems like ages ago, but the question we posed: who's your favorite, or who do you think's the greatest OSS performer of all time? And we've had a wide range of answers. It's been really interesting to go back down memory lane with some of those. So if you are just joining us tonight, make sure to have your say. Drop us a note in the chat. And don't forget, everyone who does so tonight, you've got a chance to win. We've got not one, but two fantastic prizes to be given away tonight. We've got the signed driving colors from none other than Dexter Dunn. He's been North America's top driver.
Big night at
each
Hoosier
and every
last
year.
night. Big night, their biggest night, and he was front and center.
He has been fun to watch since relocating to North America, and was good enough to sign a set of his driving colors recently, and we'll be giving those away. And another great OSS swag prize package, and a lot of people raving about the OSS swag this year.
Everybody loves it. Those toques are special, the jackets, ball caps. You know what, when I go home to Prince Edward Island in the summer or any time, you do see that Ontario Sire Stakes swag worn by many proud horse people down around Prince Edward Island.
A big shout out to some of our friends tuning in tonight from PEI. I think I saw Kurt Hughes on there earlier tonight. Congratulations to the folks down there. They had a very successful yearling sale there recently as well. The numbers were strong. You were talking about your Alberta connections. They're coming off an excellent sale as well, where the average was way up this year.
Very true.
We saw that in Lexington. So let's hope that trend continues this week as we are excited and get set for the London Classic yearling sale at our venue, Western Fair District, coming up this Tuesday and Wednesday. Let's turn our attention back to the Superfinals tonight. And next up, we've got the 3-year-old Colt and Gelding Trotters. And Twin B Archie has been the top of the class this season with 150 points. Duly Resolved Explosion second and third in the standings. Once again, let's head over and join Jamie McDonald.
James McDonald joins us now, driver leaving from a post 2 with Twin B Archie for Scott McEnany. Now, James, what happened last start?
It's very uncharacteristic for him to make a break. I just got running in a little bit, leaving the gate, and you can't give anything up in those races. I tried to force him in a spot where maybe I could tell he wasn't comfortable, and he ended up making a break. So I don't expect the same effort from him. He's a pretty nice horse. He doesn't do it very often, and I would be shocked if he did it again.
Now, obviously, it's a big night, and you have tons of respect here on the racetrack and throughout big nights. But how do you keep yourself fresh coming in, 12 races a night in big stake races almost weekly?
You just got to stick with your routine. Try and not change too much. Do what you do. I like to have my pre-race nap and take it pretty easy on myself in the afternoon. So I just try and, like I say, keep it simple. Do your thing and just treat it like any other night.
And is there anything that sticks out to you about this colt that you really enjoy sitting behind him for?
Yeah, he wins a lot. No, he's been terrific. He gives you everything he's got. Even some nights he might not have been 100%, and he still finds a way to get to the wire first. So I just thought he's been a Cadillac to drive for 2 years. It's sad that his OSS career is coming to an end tonight, but hopefully we can go out on a winning one.
Hopefully a winning one, and a long career behind this, ahead of this. It doesn't end at 3. It continues. It gets a little bit tougher some days in those 4-year-old years, but good luck on the track, and hopefully he continues here for you.
Thank you very much, Jamie.
Thank you to James McDonald and Jamie McDonald for their thoughts here as we are continuing on Ontario Sire Stakes Super Final Night, night where we celebrate the Ontario Sire Stakes program. It's been a lot of fun over the last few weeks. We started with the Prospect Series finals and then, of course, the Grassroots Championships a couple of weeks ago. And tonight it's the crowning night for the Gold Series competitors in the Ontario Sire Stakes divisions. There's a look at the field of 10 and how they're going to line up in this event for the 3-year-old colt and gelding trotters. Twin B Archie leading the point standings this season. When he minds his manners, he's proven awfully tough to beat. Another one with $750,000 on his card. Looks good in the paddock, nice and relaxed there. And probably the type of body language you like to see with these horses. Nice and calm, relaxed, not leaving the race in the paddock, so to speak, when they go out to the track.
He does look good, and here's another one. Long shot player here, Bruce Richardson, on board A Promise for Life, and the last victory there, upset fashion. They get down to the half pretty quick over London. Great to see Bruce winning a gold event aboard a trotter in London. I know he's been plying his trade for a long time around the beat tracks of Ontario, but Promise for Life and Bruce, the big upset last time out, great to see.
And speaking of track records, in London last time out, Duly Resolved, who we're going to see competing here in this 3-year-old trot final, set an overall track record.
That's right.
He is the fastest trotter in the history of the raceway at Western Fair District, and he made that look effortless. You were calling the action that night. I mean, how impressive was it?
Right on. Duly Resolved, the 3-year-old son of Resolved. I have never in my life seen a trotter break a track record as easy as he did on that occasion. And so easy, in fact. 155 and 4 is a big, big trip over London when trotting. This horse could have went a second or two quicker, I'm sure. But Paul McDonnell, Chile, just did it so easy. But you know what? This horse, top of his game coming into tonight.
Absolutely, and did it off a 58-2 opening half. It wasn't like they set the table and set big fractions for him. He did the work himself and just made it look effortless. So can he translate that tonight to the big track? That's the big question.
I liked what Robert Reed Jr. had said prior to his last start, the track record over London. He mentioned Duly Resolved, appeared to be coming back to himself, showing his A-game form. So, you know what? Robert Reed Jr. knows his horses up around Woodbine Mohawk Park, and I think he knows what he's talking about when he says Duly Resolved is kind of bringing it now. He's back on his true form.
It appears that that is certainly the case. Getting a look now at Explosion. Meg Crone, the conditioner of this one, owned by Mel Hartman of Ottawa, along with NZ Racing of New Jersey. Will be Sylvain Fillion driving. And the answer, Scotty Young aboard Seacan for Mark Etzel. He's been well traveled this year. He's raced at a variety of venues. His bottom line, he was a winner back earlier this summer at Hanover Raceway in their signature event, the Dream of Glory Trot, showing his versatility. And 4-time winner this year, 90,000 plus on his card. Very nice trotter for Team Etzel. Post 7 will make it, or post 10, I should say, will make it a tough assignment. Getting a look there again at Bruce. You talked about Sugar. Sorry to interrupt, but he last time out. It's interesting because he's the track record holder for a 3-year-old colt trotter now in London. Correct?
That's right. He, I believe he tied the mark there. Now, I'm not sure. I think it's a 10-year-old mark, but he matched the track record for 3-year-old trotting colts. Such a big, big move. I know they get down to the half pretty quick, 56 and 3. This horse was moving so fast on the wide side, like 3 and 4 wide. It was tough for me to pick him up because he was absolutely crushing them going into the final turn. Just gave them the backside business, and he quickly moved into third, turning for home, and was on to win it. He was paying more than $50 on the nose to get the job done there. Just great to see Richardson for Dion.
Completing the field will be number 10, Ken. We're going to see that one here in just a moment. So that is your complete field. Another $225,000 super final, just moments away. Another really good betting board, Rob, Twin B Archie. The betting public, do you think maybe a little bit fickle here? The miscue last time out, kind of going off him a little bit. 3-1's pretty generous considering his overall resume this year.
Yeah, I actually thought he would take a lot more support, and I was happy to kind of go in the direction of Duly Resolved, thinking we'd be on the right side of value. Right now, they're the same price at 3-1. Twin B Archie, other than that miscue in his latest, really hasn't done much wrong throughout the season. And of course, he's the one who got the better of Duly Resolved in the super final at 2 and upset that one who went off as a pretty heavy favorite. But I heard Sugar mention earlier, I really felt that Duly Resolved was trending back in the right direction in that effort in the Simcoe, finishing second at Twin B Archie, and then he really lit it up on the track at Western Fair last time. So I think that 3-1 in that. I was hoping for a better price, but I think that's fair right now.
Yeah, he was so impressive in that win in London. We saw it there. You look at body language a lot, right? You look at the overall time there. It was an all-age track record, but the way he did it suggests that he had lots left in the tank. And you're right, Rob. I think you picked up on the fact that he was appeared to be trending in the right direction. The miscue in the Canadian Trotting Classic, it's hard to know how much really to read into that. Same scenario with Twin B Archie. Just unfortunate that the Canadian hopefuls had those rare miscues at that time. I think they'll both probably be able to bounce back in here. Who outside of those two logical types should we be looking at here?
Well, you've got to look at, you're never going to get this in Safe Conduct, because, they got kind of wrapped up in a pretty wicked duel early, right, at the Raceway and the last leg of the OSS Golds. And, they both took support in that contest. Safe Conduct went off as an odds-on favorite, and now you're getting 11-1. So Safe Conduct to me is almost an automatic play at double digits on the board, just because he's proven he can go with these. And I think that we'll see him come back with a better effort. Last time just got mixed up in some pretty hot fractions early.
And Sugar, Rob's talking about Duly Resolved, fully confident that the horse can translate what he did last time in London to the larger oval here tonight. Could Promise for Life do the same? He was the other Gold Division winner in London. He did it in track record time for his particular division. Could he do the same thing if they set the table in front of him with hot fractions?
You know what? I think this horse cornered well around the Haas. He's been at Woodbine Mohawk Park before, back in mid-August, but seemed to have a pretty good trip in there. But 56-4 is what did it for him on that occasion. They're going to go much quicker than that in here, I believe. We're looking at a 54 mile. I just don't see Promise for Life as a big track horse. I think that's just a one-off, winning a big one over the half-miler in London. But he's taking action right now. He's sitting at 11-1, and I know Rob mentioned the 7 and 8 here. The odds are incredible right now on those two. They got involved in some speed duels up there around London in that race where Bruce got the upset.
And really interesting to see the schedule for Promise for Life since he last raced here at Woodbine. He was here on August 12th, the last start on the big track. He was 6th in the grassroots event. Then he won a prospect division at Georgian and rattled a couple of victories off after that at Georgian Downs and Grand River in overnight events. Another race at Grand River. Then steps up to the gold level. Just not the type of resume that you would expect to win a gold event, and thus he was 25-1 there. So a big surprise, and it's hard to know, right, whether has he just improved dramatically, and could he carry that over here, or was that just a case of circumstances working out in his favor?
I think it's circumstances. As Robert mentioned, those you're never going to get this. Safe Conduct got caught up in a speed duel, and you know what? It seemed like a lot of them were standing still on the late going. Like I said, the move by Promise for Life, it appeared the rest of the field was almost standing still when he made the move.
We have 3 more championship finals to go here on this Saturday evening from Woodbine Mohawk Park. 3-year-old colt trotters moving in and lining up for tonight's 7th.
27-1, he's capable. Showed 52 and change speed earlier this year. Sylvain Fillions pulled off the odds super final upset. He's aboard that one for trainer Meg Crone. Trotters are on the gate for tonight's 7th race. It's a full field of 10. Here they come. They're off and trotting. Good even start. Take your pick. Evil Guy in the center. Duly Resolved joins. Outside of them are You Never Gonna Get His. Further back, Time Will Takes between horses early. Safe Conduct taking a hold of 5th outside. Twin B Archie 6th away. 7th to the rail, Drinks at Home. Further back to Promise for Life. Then Explosion and C-Can. Into the opening turn. You Never Gonna Get His. Up front for Jameson Clear, a length and a half. On even money favorite, Duly Resolved. Gap of 3 to Evil Guy, quarter 26 and 3. Big first panel and a Pocket Pop will keep the speed pedal pressed. McDonnell sweeps to the lead, sending Duly Resolved to the position of command. Back into second now, You're Never Gonna Get His. Evil Guy, Time Will Take, tracked inside by Twin B Archie. Safe Conduct underway. On his cover, Explosion. Scooting up the rail, Drinks at Home. Also shooting through C-Can. Trailer is Promise for Life. Field across the backstretch. Lots of action in the rim, though they're not moving well. 3/4 bound off a 56 1/2. Duly Resolved leads just over a length. Now Time Will Takes gets active. Back into third is You Never Gonna Get His. Cover enjoyed by Twin B Archie in a perfect striking spot 4th. Safe Conduct's on cover 5th. Evil Guy 6th. Explosion is 7th. 8th inside, Drinks at Home. Winding up 3 wide from the backfield now comes Promise for Life. And in between horses, C-Can. 3/4 of a mile. Duly Resolved. Trying to hang on for dear life. They're at him from every which way though. 3/4 in 125 and 1. Turning home. Duly Resolved. Pestered by Time Will Takes. Twin B Archie launched off cover. Safe Conduct starts to roll for Christopherou from the backfield now, and C-Can is closing up well. Deep stretch. Safe Conduct strikes the front. Outside, C-Can. Inside, Twin B Archie. Explosion through late. Here's Safe Conduct. And Safe Conduct pulls off the super final score in 153 and 3. A double-digit upset for Team Christopherou.
It's a very happy Camilla Christopherou and Safe Conduct. Camilla does the training of this one. Carl Ambos Christopherou co-owning with Irvan Holdings of Ontario. And Camilla's husband Chris in the driver's seat for the victory. Safe Conduct, talented son of Archangel, had been knocking at the door in many of his recent tries against some of the best colt trotters, not only in Ontario, but on the Grand Circuit, and puts it all together tonight. Trip worked out well, and he kicked home with authority for a sparkling 153 and 3 victory. That's a very good winning mile here on this evening. A 10-1 winner, double-digit winner. It's bombs away in this one with the 99-1 shot. C-Can in the runner-up position. Twin B Archie will be third, and Explosion, another long shot, finishing 4th. So expecting the largest mutual returns of the night. And for Safe Conduct, his 4th win this season, and the lion's share of that purse will put him over the $250,000 mark in seasonal earnings. A shot from the cable cam. Good look at the stretch drive as Safe Conduct. He was strongest of them all in the late stages, and he takes down the Ontario Sire Stakes Super Final. Some happy winning connections. We'll hear more from them when we come back in a moment on COSA-TV.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU covers the sport from all angles with news, features, photography, opinion, and analysis of racing. Also, HRU covers breeding and sales, as well as industry stories you need to know. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. And the best news is that it's free to subscribe. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com and see what everyone is talking about.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Mr. Levesque, Mach 3, Cadabra, Muscle Mass, and Precious Bunny, to name a few. Our stallions' progeny have won major events, including the Hambletonian. Tara Hill Stud are currently standing 9 of the industry's top stallions. Alarm Detector, Control the Moment, Dance and Lou, Flanagan Memory, Green Manalishi, He's Watching, Muscle Mass, Resolve, and Sports Writer. Our facility is modern, our staff knowledgeable. Consider Tara Hill Stud when choosing a home for your stallion. Tara Hill Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to tarahills.com.
To the winner go the spoils, and it's Team Christoforou, this time with Safe Conduct in the 3-year-old colt and gelding trot for a 153 and 3 tally. A horse that Tony Elliott hasn't won all that frequently against this level of competition, but seems to be able to jump up at the big moments. And tonight, you could tell they had this trotter spot on when Chris showed him clear racetrack in the stretch. He knew what to do.
Yeah, and last week was almost like a sneaky line for Safe Conduct in London there. It was almost an impossible trip, and the way the stretch shook out in that gold event, it was almost impossible for him to gain, and he still got out for third, and that last quarter doesn't do it justice. They were rolling along pretty good in there, and it still got out for third, but I think if it got out sooner, it would have been a lot closer.
Another winning credit for top Ontario trotting stallion, Archangel. This guy was bred by the Banjo Farms and co-owner Charalambos Christoforou of Campbellville. Well, if you cashed this ticket here tonight, you've got some early Christmas shopping money. I mean, I don't want to be thinking about Christmas, but man, some nice returns here. The Exacta, well over $1,000. Dollar Try, well over $5,000. And a dollar Superfecta, $19,600 and change. Incredible payouts here. Safe Conduct, he's a double-digit winner at $22.10, but with Seacan finishing second, that really bolstered those exotic returns. Time now to hear from the winners. Let's go back over to Rob Reed.
Here in the winner's circle with Chris Christoforou, winning driver aboard Safe Conduct, now a super final champion. First of all, Chris, I got to comment quick on this. On the COSA broadcast, I was mentioning that the price was just insane on this horse, 10-1. You seemed kind of surprised too when I told you that.
Yeah, I was. I thought he'd be like 4 or 5 to 1, somewhere in there. It was a little high for what I thought he should be anyway.
And raced pretty well at the Raceway at Western Fair, and his latest kind of got hooked up in a speed duel. And tonight was certainly a trip that's more to his liking.
Yeah, I was smiling around the last turn because I was reading the body language of the horses in front of me, and I felt he was really strong, and he was strong in London too. I think he'd have won that race with a cleaner trip, so I was real happy. I thought that was in a good spot, and he like I said, he was strong.
And he picked a great time to win another gold. Of course, he was victorious in his second lifetime start in an OSS gold at the age of 2, and now he does it in the super final here at the final chance in the OSS program at the age of 3.
Yeah, he's been frustrating at times. Not him himself, but just a little bit of bad luck here and there. And I'm glad he came across tonight and did what he was supposed to do and got it done. I was still disappointed all night, though, with my filly in the first. I thought she was good tonight. She made a break, but what can you do? You take them as they come.
Yeah, it's the emotions of the sport, though, right? The ups and downs?
Very much so, very much so.
And last question, you've driven, some real nice trotters in your day. Now the OSS program's over for Safe Conduct. What do you think he ends up as a racehorse?
Well, I hope down the road he's a free-for-all horse. We'll see how it goes, but he hasn't been hurt. He's been raced pretty conservatively his whole career. He's never really been abused at any point in a race. So, I think, sky's the limit for him. I'm hoping for the best.
All right, congrats again, Chris. Safe Conduct, now an OSS Super Final champion in the 3-year-old trotting colt division.
With more than 150 years of tradition behind it, Century Spring Farms has built a reputation for raising and breeding champions. Like two-time O'Brien Award winner and Horse of the Year, Century Pharaoh. Little Brown Jug champion, Limelight Beach. And current OSS stars, Century Invader and Century Inspector. Their sprawling 200-acre farm in the heart of southwestern Ontario is the ideal location for raising healthy and happy youngsters. Be sure to check out their yearling lineup at this fall's London Classic Yearling Sale. Century Spring Farms, producing champions in Ontario and beyond.
Welcome back as we have two more Ontario Sire Stakes Super Finals to go here on a marathon Saturday night, a very entertaining one here at Woodbine Mohawk Park. And now it's time to get a look at the rookie colt and gelding pacers, and one particular colt has stood tall among the group this season. His name is Stockade Sealster, the son of State Treasurer. A 7-time winner in 8 this year. He leads the standings and by many points, 200 points in total in the OSS. He's a winner of $742,000 overall on the season, and a big payday coming last time out, Tony, in the lucrative Metro Stakes. Suffered his first defeat in the Metro, a limb to the highly rated Tip Top Cat, but was able to turn the tables on some of those rivals in that $900,000 final.
Yeah, he certainly was on his toes for that final, and obviously anytime you see a Ontario side horse win the Metro Pace, you certainly are excited for the program, and it just certainly shows a depth. And I think this is the horse that everyone's been wanting to see tonight, and obviously we've seen a lot of top talented horses tonight, but I think this is the one that everyone's had marked in their programs, and it's going to be a fantastic race. It's a 7-horse field, but Stockade Sealster will have all the eyes on him.
And as good as he's been, and with his resume, he will undoubtedly be a heavy favorite, but they're certainly not going to hand it to him. And there's some very talented colts in the field, and many of them near the top of the standings that are going to be competing here. Right Mia Rose sits second there. Moment is here, a son of All Bets Off, who started the season strong, maybe tailed off a little bit in mid-season, but his form recently has been very good, including a big 53-4 win last time at Flamborough Downs. What you're looking at's been very good. He'll have post 1 here, 3 for 6 on the season. So plenty of talent to press Stockade Sealster tonight. We'll see if he can add the Super Final trophy to his already impressive resume. There's the complete field of 7 for this upcoming Super Final event. And right now we will take a look back at that Metro Pace final. So Stockade Sealster, as mentioned, had suffered his first career defeat as a heavy favorite in the Metro elimination. Overlooked slightly, I would say, in the final at 4-1. But as you can pick it up here going into the final turn, there was a key move earlier in the race where Jody Jamieson was able to maneuver and get him into the pocket. That ended up being a critical move.
Yeah, Jody was able to slip between the inside horse and Save America, who was a little bit green going towards the front there, and Jody got to the inside and forced Save America to take the lead, and obviously Yannick had to use him a little bit harder to get to the lead, and obviously that softened him up a little bit for the stretch drive.
And what a stretch drive it was. Save America on the inside and Stockade Sealster on the outside, and a slugfest all the way to the wire, but Stockade Sealster right in here, you could tell he was going to go by and get it done. So some atonement for the Colt Pacer has been so good all season long, and he will undoubtedly be the heavy favorite, as we talked about here in this final. We've been anticipating this one, certainly. We've got the 3-year-old Colt Pacer still to come here, and what's been a very entertaining night so far. Tony, as we bring you back to the desk here tonight, any highlights for you in particular so far tonight, or anything overall in the program that has impressed you?
I think I've been most looking forward to this race here, and I think the racing's been obviously great all night long, and it's been as you kind of expect. Sometimes it's really chalky, but as we've seen tonight, it tends to be more on the upset side of things, and then that's the way you kind of want to see it. You don't want to chalk you all the way through.
All right, once again, let's join our colleague Jamie McDonald with another special guest.
Doug McNair joins us now, leaving from the rail position in this next upcoming race, Race 8, with What You Looking At. Now, Doug, what can you just tell us about, your horse today, rail starter? How have you seen him progress this season?
Yeah, he's been good. Nice horse right from last spring, I guess. They were really high on him, and he didn't get around the turns very good last week in Flamborough. Warming up, he actually, I think he made a break, so I was pretty cautious with him. So the rail's not the greatest spot to work with, but I mean I think there's one horse in here, obviously, and one horse that kind of lays over them, I'd say. So if we're going to try to work some kind of trip out, and hopefully it'd be nice to win. But I mean, it looks like it's a race for second in here.
And what type of natural abilities do you see him? You said, everyone's liked him from the beginning. What type of those qualities have stood out?
He's fast, real high speed. So I mean, you need that, and he's nice to drive. You can race him either way. So that's definitely a good quality horse.
Good luck here in the 8th.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much to Doug McNair and Jamie McDonald. Well, Doug said it right there. He thinks it's a race for place. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty tough. And coming in off a Metro win, he's had a couple weeks off, but he's just been unbelievable. He's been perfect in the OSS program this year. And obviously it took Save America, who's obviously a top horse in North America, to really test him as much as he was, and he's still prevailed in going for $900,000.
Getting a look at the caretakers, trainers, horses, and drivers all making their way from the paddock location here for this Rookie Colt Pace OSS Super Final event. Time to check in again with our folks online. Got a variety of viewers watching from all around the world once again here this evening. And earlier tonight we posed a question asking people who their favorite Ontario Sire Stakes or who they think the greatest Ontario Sire Stakes horse of all time was. And again, really impressed with the variety of champions that have been listed here. The PEI Harness Racing Industry Association's on our YouTube channel. They brought up Peaceful Way. There is another outstanding champion. Has a race named, of course, in her honor. Kim Unsworth joining tonight. A Worthy Lad comes up again in the conversation. And I want to give a shout out to one of our viewers watching from down under tonight. Tony Hayes is tuning in on the YouTube channel as well. Big welcome to everybody. Hope you're enjoying the coverage here so far on this very scenic fall night in Campbellville, Ontario. And that is the backdrop here to Woodbine Mohawk Park. One of the world-class facilities we're so lucky to have here in Ontario, and always a wonderful place to host championship nights like we have here this evening. Chance to toast our superstars, Tony, and I think it's safe to say, we've been talking about past champions. There's a current champion that really has been doing amazing things this year, and his name is Stockade Sealster. And, the connections would dearly, dearly love to add the super final title to that resume.
Yeah, and I think despite everything he's accomplished this season, he could end his year right now and they'd be more than happy. But even despite all the success people have throughout the year, they're always eyeing up the super final. It goes for big money, and it's obviously the conclusion of the Sire Stakes. So you would just want to close it out with a big win and then look towards the future.
And there he is, Stockade Sealster, post 3 starter, knocked Ian Moore. Sally McDonald, Paul McDonald, the ownership tandem here, same ownership group that campaigned the Sire State Treasurer. And as we mentioned earlier, this guy will have a sibling selling this week at the London Classic Yearling Sale, an all bets off sister who goes by the name of Sorja Sealster. So, a lot of eyes will be on that one and many other really great pedigrees offered up in that sale coming up this week. The last one we're going to look at, Write Me a Rose, second place in the standings this season. Rob Fellows' trainee is owned by the Windermere Stable of New York, New York. 3 wins and $156,000 on the card for this Colt Son of Sports rider. The I guess the only real wild card is that the horse has had some breaking issues on occasion. Did make a miscue last time out, but prior to that, had been a competitor against gold types and a pretty solid competitor at that. So the big question is, can anyone certainly challenge or have a chance to upset Stockade Sealster? And right now the betting public thinks it might be Moment Is Here, and that win at Flamborough Downs certainly suggests that he could be a factor here. This guy, not a big colt, but I think you've got to be impressed with the way he's held his form, and in fact has gotten a little bit better again late in the season.
Yeah, it looks like he's certainly gone through waves throughout the season. He started off great and then obviously had a little bit of a lull in the middle. And I just remember his Metro Pace elimination. He was just a monster. He came a huge back half and unfortunately had some tough racing luck in the final there, but bounced straight back with a big mile over Flamborough Downs. I believe that tied the track record for 2-year-old geldings over that track, and that's a pretty fast track. And 53 and 4 is a very big mile there. So he's rounding into top form, and like you mentioned, it's kind of been an up and down season, but they're certainly glad that they're currently on an up.
There's Bob McClure. He won a super final earlier tonight with Cheesy Smile, and he's on board Santana Hanover here, a gelded son of Big Jim for Scott McEnany. McEnany third in the last race with Twinbee Archie. Santana Hanover won an overnight event here, 2 races back, and then in that gold event at Flamborough Downs, he was second in a division to Moment Is Here in that fast 53 and 4 mile. This guy did a lot of the road work on that occasion, and he was battling much of the final half. If there's, I think, a double-digit threat to certainly hit the exacta, the trifecta, I think it's this guy. His form has been getting better as the season wears on. He looks like he's trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I would actually go towards the 7 here if I was going to throw one in on the exacta. Write Me a Rose has been sneaky good all season. It's went some big miles, and it looks like he's kind of had some tough breaking luck, like Greg mentioned early on, but he just seems to always show up, and despite the up and down season, like he looks like he could be one that could be a factor in here if the Write Me a Rose shows up tonight.
Rob, you're situated outside. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to look at Stockade Sealster. At this point in the year, we love to examine the body language of horses, right, to see how they're holding up over the rigors of a long campaign. How does he look out on the track?
Well, I thought he looked great on the track. He's had a remarkable season, no question about it. Not only dominating in the golds, but winner in the Metro, and did so in real impressive fashion for me. I don't see him getting beat tonight. We've obviously seen a couple of upsets so far. It might be par for the course, but I just look at this field and think that he's going to go out there and do his thing and be a super final champion. But the one that I was kind of looking at and liking, there he is right now on screen here, is the one what you're looking at. I just thought that he's kind of one that's kind of finding his best form again, and was a winner in the gold September 3rd, and last time no chance really at Flamborough before closing into it at a race that he took respect at 3-1. So that might be the direction I'm going for an exacta, but I'm not going to try to beat Stockade Sealster.
I don't blame you. I think that's probably wise advice here, Tony. What about you? Would you try and beat him?
I don't think so. I think the way the race is going to set up, it's likely going to be a little bit easier than some might think, but it's going to be pretty tough. I think if Stockade Sealster makes the lead pretty early on, I don't imagine there's going to be a challenger until later on in the mile. So I think he's going to be able to control it, or if they get mixing it up, he's going to be versatile and be able to use his speed and make his way to the front.
Faithful fans got 4-1 on him last time out in the Metro Pace. Not the case tonight. It's 1-4 this time around, as we are moments away from post time. There's the one that Rob is keeping his eye on. What you looking at, son of He's Watching? And a look now at Moment Is Here, the all bets off colt that's in strong late season form for Bob McIntosh and driver Trevor Ritchie, but next door neighbor Stockade Sealster has been the toast of the division. Can he keep that magical season going here tonight in the super final? starting gate rolling. Kenny has the call next.
Today at the barn, and my partners through social media here tonight. Hard to believe it was a year ago. But yes, anything can happen. Put them on the gate, drop them in the box, and anybody can win. We've seen it time and time again. 1-5 is the story on 3 Stockade Sealster, fresh off his Metro Stakes score. What an incredible season it's been for this colt. Plenty of dances left on his dance card. We'll see if he can cap another here in the OSS Super Final. We're good for a start. Often pacing, speed outside from Santana Hanover as McClure activates him early, getting him position off the gate. Drop to pocket goes Moment Is Here. Third inside is Stockade Sealster. Henry's going to loop McClure, so he's the one who wants that 2-hole trip. Here's Moment Is Here, brushing up to take the top now. Back into second, Santana Hanover. Stockade Sealster, Jameson able to sit him in for just about a quarter of a mile here. And back into fourth is What You Lookin' At, gap 3 more lengths. So the opening quarter is 26-3. Now Jameson will point and click, and Stockade Sealster at 1-9 is revving up and coming after Moment Is Here. Moment Is Here has got the lead. Stockade Sealster up to tank him on at that 3/8 marker. Gap 2.5 lengths third, Santana Hanover. What You Looking At fourth. Fifth inside to Sounds Good. Then sixth is Better Be a Terror. Trailing is Right Me Rose. Field approaching the midway point. They're there, 54-2. That's a big half. Into the far turn, Stockade Sealster leads a length. On Moment Is Here, who's back into second now. Santana Hanover third. Here's What You Looking At, brought first up out of fourth now. On his cover, Sounds Good fifth. Better Be a Terror sixth. 2 more lengths back to trailer Right Me Rose seventh. 3/4 of a mile coming up for Stockade Sealster, stretching out his lead to 2. Henry's asking Moment Is Here to try and close up that gap in second. Easier said than done. Santana Hanover third outside. Rolling off cover, What You Looking At. 3/4 in 1:22, and they're into the stretch. And it's Stockade Sealster still on top 2 lengths. Santana Hanover second on the outside in hot pursuit. Third, now off cover, comes Sounds Good, and they're into the final 1/8 of the mile. Stockade Sealster still there by 2 for Jameson. Second, Santana Hanover. Sounds Good is third, and the Stockade Sealster party rolls on as he wins by 2 lengths to take the super final in 150-1.
Another tour de force tonight from Stockade Sealster, 150-1. Huge winning effort for this son of state treasurer. Win number 8 on the campaign now in 9 starts. And that huge bankroll now swells to more than $850,000. What a way to cap off his OSS season, Tony.
Oh, for sure, and he just shows his toughness again. He did in the Metro pace, and he did here tonight. They're putting up some pretty big fractions, and once he made his way to the front, he was all out going to the wire here, and there were some really nice horses chasing him down too. So he showed his heart tonight, and he shows why he's a true champion.
Santana Hanover, good runner-up effort. When he came out of the hole at the top of the stretch, it looked like he was going to perhaps threaten Stockade Sealster. He came out with authority, leveled off a little bit late, but nonetheless, this son of Big Jim, I think, serving notice late in the season that he'll be a player in the division next year. Sounds Good. And Scott Ziron hit the top 3 for trainer Greg McNair, with Moment Is Here finishing 4th in the 150-1 clocking. Stockade Sealster, Jody Jameson for Dr. Ian Moore, and Sally and Paul McDonald emerges victorious, and he is now the Super Final champion. We'll be back in a moment to hear from the Winning Connections next.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine recently introduced its exciting new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To create your account or learn more, visit www.preferredequine.com or call 914-773-7777.
Yes, you are watching the 2022 Gold Super Finals of the Ontario Sire Stakes. Stockade Sealster with Doc Ian Moore at the head, Jody Jameson there as well, and the happy ownership group as Stockade Sealster has put together a remarkable rookie campaign and showing no signs of slowing down. He's a quality horse, Tony. They kind of throw everything at him. Tonight, again, short field, heavy favorite. You'd think it might be an easy trip for him, and he gets stung a little bit to a 54 2.5, pressured in the third quarter, but wins going away a little bit at the end.
Yeah, and this is what you expect when they're going for 225,000. He actually got roughed up more than I initially thought he would, but once he made the front, they were rolling pretty good, and he was all game all the way to the wire. But yeah, there's no sitting back, and there's no the handholds are up when they're going for this kind of money, and that's what we saw there.
Yeah, you're right. He had to go out and earn it tonight. They weren't going to hand it to him, and Stockade Sealster does get it done as the solid bettor's choice. $2.30, a very popular winner here. The exactor paid $9.60. Your trifecta, $173.20. In the late pick 5 pool there, you're getting a look at that, an $85,000 pool. Certainly wouldn't be many getting knocked out in that leg as Stockade Sealster gets it done as the prohibitive top choice in the wagering. And now you wonder, will we see him, whether it be next week or the week after, potentially in the Breeders' Crown?
I like to think we will, and he's gone some huge trips this year, but he doesn't. If he kind of was a little bit soft on the end, you would kind of think, well, maybe they're going to look at just shutting him down and then bringing him back next year. But the way he finishes mile tonight, I don't think there wouldn't be a whole lot of discussion about whether to take him to the Breeders' Crown or not. If he comes out of this race good, I think that'll be on their radar for sure.
And we'll likely hear from Doc Moore in moments, and we might get more insight on that. I like the runner-up finisher here as well, Santana Hanover, the big Jim Gelding, who was showing improvement coming into this race, and certainly followed up with maybe his best effort of the season. But it is time to hear now from those winning connections. Once again, over trackside to Rob Reed Jr.
All right, here in the winner's circle, the happy connections of Stockade Sealster, now an OSS Super Final winner. Jody, I'll be honest, I thought short field tonight, it wasn't going to be that much of a challenge, but they made you work for it.
Absolutely. You put 200,000 on the card or on the line, and we're going to race for it, and we definitely did. It just goes to show that that's a great horse, and I can ride as fast as he can go.
And obviously, again, a gutsy drive in the Metro. I keep saying that, right? Unbelievable to see him win that race. Tonight, though, it's pretty cold out right now. 50-1, that's a huge mile.
There's really no end to him. He was a little tired tonight, but he's off 3 weeks. Doc had him great tonight. But, I raced him so damn hard. He had a right to get a little bit tired, and he paced right back there. 50-1 is an amazing trip again.
All right, well, congrats again, Jody. We're bringing Doc Moore now.
Thanks, Doc.
Doc, Stockade Sealster, there's not really much more to say about him. He just dominated in the OSS Golds this year. Obviously, a mild upset in the Metro. Coming into this race, time between starts a concern at all?
Yeah, I was concerned that he may be a little short tonight. It's very difficult with a 2-year-old late in the year, especially when you consider that he's had the harness on for 1 year now, started in October last year, and you wouldn't do that with an age horse, really. So I gave him a whole week off, and then we jogged him 1 week, and Jody trained him on Friday when I was down in PEI for my daughter's wedding, and I trained him again on Thursday this week, and not too heavy. So I was concerned, and maybe that's why the last quarter wasn't so quick, but he got the job done, and should be hopefully ready for the Breeders' Crown. That's our next step, hopefully.
Let's talk about the Breeders' Crown. He's already proven he can beat Open Company. He did it in the Metro. You've got to feel pretty good and knowing that he can go with those horses when it all comes down to the crown.
Well, again, it's getting late, and that's 9 starts now, and 10's a good number for Baby, but he seemed good tonight, and if he comes out of it fine on Monday, Tuesday when I jog him, then we'll be earning for the Breeders' Crown, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, congrats again, Doc. Let's bring in Alan McDonald, one of the owners of Stockade Sealster, $45,000 yearling purchase, and talk about lightning striking twice. Of course, you certainly occurring right now for this ownership group with Stockade Sealster.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. My wife always called State Treasure a horse of a lifetime, but it kind of looks like maybe we've done it again. It's incredible, just incredible to be here and see what he's done. He's a really nice colt.
And with what he's accomplished so far in his rookie campaign, I mean, just racking up the victories, and of course, the win of the Metro, now head of the Breeders' Crown. What's it like to be a part of that? I mean, you get nervous coming to these races, or?
Definitely. I was extremely nervous here tonight, just extremely nervous because he had the 3-week layoff. But good horses. He stepped up. I was really proud of him. Yeah. Raced really good.
He's an incredible racehorse, and we'll all be cheering for him 2 weeks from tonight in the Breeders' Crown. Congrats again.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you.
Stockade Sealster, now an OSS Super Final winner. Next stop, the Breeders' Crown.
It's a Breeders' Crown showdown at Woodbine Mohawk Park. 2 nights of incredible racing, 12 divisional championships, over $6.5 million in prize money. Join us on October 28th and 29th for harness racing's richest, most prestigious year-end fight to the finish. From the long shots to the sure shots, it all comes down to the Breeders' Crown.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU covers the sport from all angles with news, features, photography, opinion, and analysis of racing. Also, HRU covers breeding and sales, as well as industry stories you need to know. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. And the best news is that it's free to subscribe. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com and see what everyone is talking about.
We've come to the finale tonight of Ontario Sire Stakes Super Final Night at Woodbine Mohawk Park. The 3-year-old Colt and Gelding Pacers to wrap things up. And there's a look at the Gold Series standings for the season. Stonebridge Helios was the leader in the division, but he will not be here tonight. St. Lad Sterling, who is second in the standings, is in the field. He'll have post 7. Colby Two-Step with Sports Secret, Macho Phil, and Cold Creek Queso. They'll all be going postward here in this very competitive field of 10. No real standout on the program, so a great way to wrap things up. Tony Elliott, $225,000 on the line. And a lot of highly accomplished individuals here. They've kind of all had their moments at different points in the season, including St. Lad Sterling. He'll be easy to pick out on the racetracks. That good-looking gray son of Control the Moment with a record of 149-3 this year. One of a few pacers that have paced sub 150. The fastest of them, Cold Creek Queso. And that came last time in a gold division at Woodbine on September the 30th. An electrifying 148-3 victory. So perhaps he is the now horse in the field.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, like everyone's had their moment to shine, and Cold Creek Queso looks like he's picked the right moment to shine, and he drew a good post in here, and he's coming in off that huge mile, so there's a reason why it's a 2-1 favor on the board right now, just because it's about finding the horse that's hitting its peak at the right time, and it looks like this is the one.
Prior to that, had raced in overnight events here, did win one of the 3 starts prior, but the theme is that the horse was pacing sub 150 in each of them. 49 and 4 clocking, then came back with a pair of 49 and 2 efforts, and then 48 and 3 and winning in that last start. And when you look at the line 3 back, he finished 4th, but he paced individually in 49 and 2 that night. This back half was 52 and 1. He came from a long way out of it and closed into a very fast final half. So his recent form's been incredible. post 4 to work with here for Murray Breather and driver Sylvain Fillion. Better Have My Money is another for the very busy Nick Gallucci barn this season. He last year was one of the top 2-year-olds in the country. He was the Battle of Waterloo champion early in the 2-year-old campaign, and he made $335,000. This year, 0 for 7 and just $37,000 on the card. So obviously, I think some issues have kept him from coming back to the same level, but he's been a bit better in the last couple of starts, maybe getting back on track.
Yeah, I think he is, and he picks up Scott Zeron in the bike tonight, and it's the 2-year-old season's very tough, and he won the Battle of Waterloo last year. That's people don't understand how much of a grueling race that is the speed they go right off the bat as 2-year-olds, and they earn that big paycheck that day, and he looks like he's coming around now, and 3 starts back, came home in 25-2, and looks like he's trying to find his stride now.
I think it would be dangerous to totally overlook him in this spot, and at 10-1, an attractive price. There is a look at Better Have My Money making his way out, followed by St. Lad Sterling, the gray that we talked about earlier. He, a 49-3 Gold Division winner in his most recent start. A 3-time winner this year and $177,000 banked. One of the richest in the field. The highest money winner, though, is number 3 Sports Secret for the Greg McNair barn. Greg co-owns this guy with Frank Brundle, along with Jeffrey Skinner of Nova Scotia and Ross Holmes of Ontario. And Doug McNair has already had success in these Gold Superfinals tonight. So, too, have trainer John Pentland and Bob McClure. And they'll try and make it a Superfinal double here with Post 1 starter Century Inspector.
We got to look at number 2 Magical Arthur. Anthony Beaton and Trevor Henry team up, and this horse is coming in off a second-place finish in the latest Gold event.
Sports Secret 3, $250,000 plus on his card this year. A son of sports writer, handled by Doug McNair.
Number 4 is Cold Creek Queso, the fastest of the field with his latest lifetime mark of 148.3 in the latest Gold event on September 30th.
Wilma and James McKenzie of Ennismore own Post 5 starter Ron, has Phil Hudon in the driver's seat.
Number 6 is Better Have My Money, the 2021 Battle of Waterloo champion. Nick Lucci and Scott Zeron team up on this one.
Les Écuries Morel Incorporated from Mirabel, Quebec, owners of 7 St. Lad Sterling, will be handled by Louis-Philippe Roy, looking for his 3rd Superfinal title of the night.
A long shot play here. Southside Eddie, Jonathan Drury, and Carmen Osceola team up, and he's going for 2 straight wins.
Tim Gillespie co-owns number 9 Colby Two-Step along with Jason Churchill. It will be James McDonald to do the driving.
And number 10 is Macho Phil. Joey Jameson and Sean Stacy team up on this son of Shanghai Phil. He'll look to return to form here tonight, going for $225,000.
A bulky 10-horse field to cap things off in this final Gold Superfinal event of the night. It has been a lot of fun to this point, and perhaps the most competitive of the races here for last. We've had some standout winners earlier on the program. There is a solid favorite right now, Cold Creek Queso, the horse that we talked about, really coming into form at the right time, perhaps. A look there at Century Inspector, the Post 1 starter. Pentland, McClure trying to double up in this spot, and we'll see if they can get it done. We'll head out now and ask Rob Reed Jr. for his thoughts here on this finale. I think pound for pound, Rob, maybe the most competitive of our championships of the night. What do you think?
I do. I think it's a really nice field set up here for the Glamour Boys division here. But for me, Cold Creek Queso is actually my best bet of the night in the Horse Players Journal. I thought that he's a horse that's kind of the now horse in the division, and it'd be nice to see one like him win because it kind of all comes full circle, doesn't it? He was an upset winner last season in the OSS Grassroots Championship, and now here he goes, right now the odds-on choice in the Super Final. Thought that he was fantastic against older horses in those 3 starts leading up to his latest, and then of course a 148-3 smoke show last time. I think this horse, again, peaking at the right time and might be able to do, complete a nice little double of Grassroots Championship onto a Super Final.
Would you be looking at singling him perhaps in this late pick 4?
I'll probably single. I might have tickets in the pick 5, single to him, Greg, off Safe Conduct earlier, right at that nice price. So going forward for me, though, yeah, I would look at him in the late pick 4 as a single here. And again, I think the 4 to 5 price right now is a little bit too short. But I thought that in the absence of one like Stonebridge Chilios, he was definitely the one you want to land on.
Tony, what about Better Have My Money? Has he shown you enough in those last 2 or 3 starts to think that he's back at the level where he could make some noise tonight?
I don't know if he's shown enough just yet. He's shown some better lines, but the concerning part, he tends to fade at the end of his mile, like 28-2 on the end of it last time out. Like they went some big fractions, and he was kind of chasing along there. But I like to see them move up places as they come towards the wire, not to go back. So I'm just a little hesitant about whether he's going to be ready to go with them, because I imagine, based on the lines that we're seeing on all these other horses, he's going to be in pretty tough, and I imagine they're going to go a pretty big mile.
And one thing we've seen tonight, if you've got a horse that can race at the gold level and they're consistent and can pick up checks regularly, you have a chance to put a lot of money on your card. And a couple of them that stand out to me in that regard are the post 2 starter Magical Arthur, post 5 starter Ron, both with just a single win on the season, but both well north of $100,000 in earnings along the way. So, you know, they're the type that are always knocking at the door, and if things get a little wild up front, that's the type that could be there. Johnny on the spot late in the mile, who knows? What about St. Lad Sterling, the gray? He's been very consistent all season long. Kind of gives you that same race week in and week out.
Yeah, I've liked this horse all along, and I think he won a gold early on in the season, and he's kind of come full circle back to, I think he won one of the first golds of the year and then wins the last gold of the year, and obviously he has a pretty good shot here in the super final. But he's even if he doesn't win tonight, he's probably the best looking horse in the field.
And we're getting a final look at the starters here, just moments away from our finale here tonight. Our friend J.D. Varnell chiming in, talking about the prospects of the horses that we'll see here for the Breeders' Crown in a couple of weeks, talking about the Ohio champion by the Missile, Little Brown Jug champion by the Missile, and yeah, just one of the superstars that we are looking forward to seeing here in a couple of weeks. So we want to remind folks that the Breeders' Crown eliminations will be next weekend, and then the Breeders' Crown Championships, of course, here 1 week after that. We are looking forward to that. It is going to be a whole lot of fun, and we're looking forward to the 8th and final championship of the night. The 3-year-old colt and gelding pacers taking their spots on the starting gate. And with the final call of the night, here's track announcer Ken Middleton.
Good luck to all involved in our final super final event of the season here tonight. 4 to 5 on the 4 Cold Creek Queso. It's been a back and forth division. Some of the top stars, Stonebridge Chilios, not even in this field here tonight, but it's been one of those years where it's been a back and forth battle. Who will claim the title? Stay tuned, find out. On a break behind the gate, 8 Southside Eddie. Here they come. They're often pacing, blasting out Colby two-step from the outside, leaving with St. Lad Sterling. Speed in the inside from Magical Arthur and next-door neighbor Cold Creek Queso. From the Rail Century Inspector into the top flight of 5. Ron is 6th at his wheel. Then it's back to Sports Secret, Better Have My Money. Final 2 are Macho Phil and the Steppy Southside Eddie trailing back in 8th. Into the first turn. It'll be Colby two-step to wind up and make a move to the front. 26-4. That first quarter price he paid to get there. Back into the pocket spot second now. Tracks Magical Arthur. Cold Creek Queso. Fillion is going to buzz him along first over now. Barking at him to come first up from third. And it's Cold Creek Queso now with a punishing looking backstretch blast to the front. Cold Creek Queso takes charge. Back into second, Colby two-step, Magical Arthur, St. Lad Sterling. Century Inspector swings to the outside. He tried to fish out Wah, but Wah sat in with St. Lad Sterling. So Century Inspector left first over now. Grabbing his cover is Ron, then outside Sports Secret, shooting through Macho Phil, Better Have My Money, and trailing Southside Eddie, halftime in 55 flat, to the far turn they go. Chasing leader Cold Creek Queso, favored on top just over a length. Colby two-step in the pocket spot. Century Inspector first up third now. Ron's in a perfect-looking second over cover trip from in fourth. Buried fifth, Magical Arthur, 3/4 in 1:23, turning home. A 2-length lead for Cold Creek Queso, and Cold Creek Queso kicks away with a slap of the wheel disc by Fillion. He's leading by 3 lengths now, and now 4, and it's all Cold Creek Queso. Cold Creek Queso is pacing away from this field, and it's all Cold Creek Queso. An absolutely stunning score in this super final. Cold Creek Queso kicks some butt. Up for second from way back, Better Have My Money. Ron third. Fourth was Sports Secret, the mile 150 for Cold Creek Queso.
Cold Creek Queso spanks the field here in the 3-year-old Colton Gelding pace. 27 seconds on the end, one of the strongest final quarters of the evening, and he wins with authority. Puts an exclamation point on his super final victory. So showing that last race, Tony, was certainly no fluke, or he's not a one-trick pony, that's for sure. It comes right back, and he's, I would say, equally as impressive tonight considering the cool temperatures as he wins it going away. Better Have My Money, probably the strongest closing kick we've seen from him all season long as well, and he comes from a long way back to pick up second.
Yeah, he raced huge, and he's like we talked about before the race. He's starting to find his form, and a second place check going for this kind of money. The connection certainly won't be disappointed with that.
Sons of Better Than Cheddar finishing 1-2 in our last super final event. And it's a second super final victory of the night for driver Sylvain Fillion. Ron picks up third, Sports Secret to round out your top 4. There's another slow-mo look at the stretch drive on our cable cam here from Woodbine Mohawk Park. Give you another look at it, and we'll be back in a moment to wrap things up here on COSA-TV.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Mr. Levesque, Mach 3, Cadabra, Muscle Mass, and Precious Bunny, to name a few. Our stallions' progeny have won major events, including the Hambletonian. Tara Hill Stud are currently standing 9 of the industry's top stallions. Alarm Detector, Control the Moment, Danson Lou, Flanagan Memory, Green Manalishi, He's Watching, Muscle Mass, Resolve, and Sports Writer. Our facility is modern, our staff knowledgeable. Consider Tara Hill Stud when choosing a home for your stallion. Tara Hill Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to terrahills.com.
And the hardware going to our final champion of the night, Cold Creek Queso. What a late season sensation this guy has turned out to be. Kind of flew under the radar earlier in the season, and the last few starts have been ultra impressive. And the 5th consecutive mile in 150 or faster for this guy. And, you know, as impressive as it gets, probably the most impressive winner of the night. Tony, would you agree?
Yeah, and something to note too, just they're closing into a headwind. So 27 seconds on the end of it is really impressive, actually. And I would agree that he was the most impressive winner of the night, getting the 3/4 in 1:23 and kicking home in 27 seconds, or just like he was automatic tonight.
The Better Than Cheddar Gelding, trained by Murray Breather, highly regarded, really well-respected trainer here in Ontario. He's had kind of quietly a really nice season. Again, he's had a lot of nice ones over the years. And, you know, I would say at this point, as far as an Ontario-bred 3-year-old, probably one of the better ones that he's ever had in his barn at this stage. So a really bright future for Cold Creek Queso as he takes home the final Ontario Sire Stakes championship blanket of the night. And we've been marveling at the nice keepsakes that these guys are going to take home tonight. The folks at the Ontario Sire Stakes, they're doing it up right. And what a great way to celebrate the best in the provincial program once again here this season. Cold Creek Queso, $3.80 for the win. There's a look at the complete mutual returns, including a superfecta of $675. Let's go back trackside and catch up now with the winning connections.
All right, I'm here with Sylvain Fillion and Dan Walker, owner of Cold Creek Standardbred. But first, Sylvain, I'm going to start calling you the closer, right? Because 2 weeks ago we met at around the same time when you took down the last of the OSS Grassroots Championship races. Now tonight you do the same in the Super Finals. Cold Creek Queso, really a horse coming into his own. You've been jumping aboard, but midway through this campaign and racing well against older horses, and then of course now back-to-back scores in the gold.
Yeah, he's just a very nice colt. Pretty easy to drive, and you can drive him in the front like I did tonight, or covered up. He always shows up and he races good.
And tons of confidence in him tonight, right? I mean, you were really rolling down the backside there, and I mean, it just seemed to get stronger as the mile went on.
Yeah, because when I moved him to the front, he got kind of lazy, so I pulled the plugs on him to make sure he stays on his toes. And around the last turn, he just wanted to take off.
Yeah, very nice horse. And I mean, now his OSS program is concluded at the age of 3. What kind of a racehorse do you think he is going forward?
Well, I'm looking forward to see him next year because I'm pretty sure he'll be a very, very nice horse.
All right, thanks, Sylvain. Let's bring in Dan Walker, owner of Cold Creek Standardbred. And, this horse, to me, I'm a big fan of him, first of all, but he's a horse that I think really is what the OSS program is all about. He was a winner in the OSS Grassroots Championship last year, kind of snuck up on everyone in that one, paying 11-1. Tonight, of course, odds on now in the Super Final. Can you talk about his progression?
Oh, he's been good all year. Just he had some bad luck early on, and we talked to Murray a few times. Should we drop him down? And Murray says, nope. He's good. Just we'll take care of it at the end of the year.
And Murray, obviously a fantastic horseman. And I mean, talk about what he's done with this horse to really bring out the best in him.
He's liked him ever since day one. He called me about a week after he had him, and he just said, he says, you know what you got here? And I said, no, not really. He says, it's good.
All right. Awesome. Well, congratulations again, Dan. Very nice horse. Cold Creek Queso, now an OSS Super Final winner in the Glamour Boy division.
Enjoy the thrill of the race anywhere, anytime with HPIBet.com. Join for free and use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch and wager when you can't be at the track. Stream live racing from over 450 tracks. Bet with ease from anywhere. It's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming, and your first bet is on us. Go to HPIBet.com to join for free today.
By now, you know the name COSA-TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out HPIBet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.
Welcome back one more time from high atop Woodbine Mohawk Park. Still 3 races left to go on the program, but that is going to wrap it up for our coverage here tonight. What a great night it has been. 8 championships, crowning the best in the Ontario Sire Stakes of the Gold Division. And also that open pace where we saw the highly regarded tattoo artist getting it done as well. Cold Creek Queso perhaps saving the best for last, 150, so impressive, and he won going away. And kind of, I think, puts into perspective how impressive Stockade Sealster was, the rookie, just a tick slower at 50-1 and being off 3 weeks.
Yeah, and he was just ultra impressive, and so was Coal Creek Queso. Both of them just seemed to step away from the field, and when you're against groups like this, it's very tough to be able to step away from a field like that, and both of them were able to do it, and they were definitely the highlights of the night for me in back-to-back races, so it was a great way to end out the show.
And we want to thank everybody who tuned in and stuck with us throughout a long but really entertaining night of racing. These championships, OSS championship nights, whether it be prospect, grassroots, or the gold, they never seem to disappoint. And tonight was certainly no exception. So again, a big thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. And don't forget that everybody who was tuned in and dropped us a comment, you're automatically entered for a chance to win a couple of great prize packages tonight. The OSS swag prize package, and I can tell you it's a fantastic collection of swag included in that, and as well the signed colors from our friend and top driver Dexter Dunn. It's another highly sought after prize. We're going to be announcing the winner of last night's the draw from last night's show in London, as well as both winners from tonight a little bit later in the next coming days on our social media channels. So tune in to the COSA Facebook channel where we'll announce the winners of those. So again, a big thank you for joining us here this evening. Don't forget the Breeders' Crown is coming up here in 2 weeks at Woodbine Mohawk Park. Hope to see you out here again for that. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and so long from all of us here at COSA-TV.
By now, you know the name COSA-TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.